knows exactly that, Howie. You've got to take those chances. You're playing interstate against a top 8 team. You're presented with a chance like that. It's got to be snapped up.
They do turn the ball over more than any other team in their back half, GWS Giants, because they do play that high-risk, high-reward game.
On the goals vision. It's a good mark by Connor Lyden. Nice build-up, Brown. They've got runners forward to the footy. One of them was Ango. Won't go that way. Brown elects to drive it forward. Hogan, one-on-one coming in from the side. Riccardi. He spoiled his teammate in the end.
Yeah, I think you're right, and you can see Jesse just having a chat with him there. He had his man beaten. It was Riccardi coming over the top. Did he give him a spray, mate?
He gave him a call.
He's disappointed because he had his eyes on it.
Shouts of Brigger in the effects mic. There is Prestia back in the side. A handy inclusion for long spurs and Achilles. Touch balls to the mark, not paid to Himmelberg. Sees something on the outer flank. Standing up Ward. Really well done, Ralph Smith. Didn't give away the front on free kick. He's an athletic customer. And the hands of Banks.
Doesn't look good. Yeah, that's Ward. Get another look at that, but that doesn't look good the way that he's holding that knee.
Ross chips it out in front of the hard-running Ralph Smith.
He didn't move once he went down. The umpire's going to hold the game up here, I think.
Hold the ball. Yeah, we stopped it. Yeah, thanks.
Nothing there. He bounces up, but then when he goes for the tackle, he grabs the right knee. It doesn't look great. And when you hold it at the back, I can tell you that's the feeling you get. I don't want to be the prophet of doom, but that's where you grab when your ACL's in.
He's had an ACL injury in the past. Just see the knee. It's the right knee, so it's not the left one that makes the collision. It's the right knee as he goes to change direction, just there.
Yeah, when he props.
Which is the mechanism.
There was also the knee that got really caught up in that marking contest just beforehand as well. Got stretched right back underneath him.
Oh, we hope they're just checking the movement in the joint now, but let's hope it's nothing too serious.
Number 327. In the club for 157 games.
Such a durable player for them.
262nd game just for the Giants. Yeah. First Giant at 250 games. And heart and soul of the club, Cal Ward. Been a nicer bloke in footy, so I think everyone in football hopes against hope that it's not a serious issue, but it doesn't look good at all.
And then you stretch it. It's hoping going all the way across the ground like that.
Mullen is the sub.
2019 was that ACL injury that he did, missed that Giants run to the final, grand final. Finals campaign, I should say, in the preliminary final. He says he knows, he would know if it is significant. Fingers crossed, because he's been such a brilliant contributor to this club. He's been important this year as well, despite his age, playing on the wing.
He might have almost hyperextended it when he landed after that marking duel and then backed up, and you see him really brace hard here. All the weight goes through the joint, and that's where he feels it straight away.
Last time was the left knee, I believe, as well, so...
Left ACL last time. Maybe the right this time.
Hopefully it isn't the last time we see Cal Ward on a football field. He's still out of contract and discussing his future, and this is significant for him.
I don't think you find anyone involved in the game that really say a bad word about Callum Ward. Just the type of player he is, the type of person he is, he's a brilliant leader. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, the footy world behind Callum Ward and immediately acknowledging the crowd shows the quality of the individual. Out onto the ground. Mooney will keep us across that situation. Kelly stripped from him. Ralph Smith started nicely, athletically, pushed got the kick away. It's a good mark coming back by Hopper.
He started well, Hopper. He's had an excellent season. He and Taranto have been really strong with their leadership and their ability to win clearance in contests for this team this year.
Deep ball forward, looking for Lynch. Got Taylor for company, never an easy task. Brown. And pass just misses Ross. Kelly stands up in the tackle. Green, good below his knees to get a handle on the footy. They'll come back again here though to Ralph Smith. Pokes it up really high to a one-on-one featuring Lynch, and he takes a strong mark on Jack Buckley.
There's been a crossover because he'd had a couple of one-on-ones against Sam Taylor. This time he gets the better of Jack Buckley. You'd expect Tom Lees to be able to snap this around the corner, no problems.
Round the corner, Lynch, goal number 476, and the Tigers are on the board.
Well, that's what he can do, and they're going to need more of that from him today. Even if he just doesn't have to kick a bag, but even if he can just occupy Buckley and Taylor and not let them intercept and get their offense going, just provide a contest, bring it to ground. We've already seen it a number of times in the first 10 minutes, but if he can win one-on-ones and take some contested marks inside 50, that's a bonus. As we said, the Tigers will get some looks. They'll be able to turn the ball over and get after the Giants from the back half. Already had 7 inside 50s for 3. Positive start.
I have to say, guys, very emotional scenes down here. Obviously, you just see there Lockie Whitfield give the Wardy hug. Wardy, I think he knows.
Yeah.
He's pretty devastated down here at the moment. His family's already moved back to Melbourne, so I think this was going to be Wardy's last year. So hopefully this isn't the way he goes out.
Just a little hug and a kiss too from Lockie Whitfield, showing real care for his teammate. Centre clearance for the Tigers. On the hands of Jones.
It's not a great Chris Judd. His last game of footy was an ACL injury on the MCG. I couldn't help but feel that little wave that Carl Ward's giving the crowd maybe more symbolic than...
It's like you, Joe.
Yeah, it does feel that way, so we'll get more a bit later on.
Push out, Richmond, advantage.
Advantage paid. Taranto, all of a sudden the goal's open up in front of him, and Taranto has a piece of them.
Well, already Taranto and Hopper, 12 possessions between them. Taranto's chase this year, it's his highest rated season in his career. I mean, it's his highest contested ball. He's using the footy better than he has in previous seasons. And as we say, I think his leadership and the way that he's kept his standards high all season, he's really been a strong leader for this group, and he started well today.
He has. You talk about a couple of players playing against their old team. They love to do well. They've been consistent. He's been criticised for his ball use at times. But when he does use the ball like this, he is such an impactful player. It's a good finish. They've started well, the Tigers.
Toby McMullen on obviously as his sub, guys. This is where the Giants probably just need to reset themselves after a little bit of emotion there. Probably just need to reset.
Yeah, and that can go both ways, Moons. The effect that can have on his teammates.
Tracking it back, the dynamic Jones. Tigers though, something inside 50 once again. Aaliyah stands underneath it. Taylor with the fist. Taranto in the air again. Jones gives him no room to operate. Taylor will have to readjust his shorts.
They used him a bit in the middle last week, Darcy Jones, Joey. He's got speed. You've got to like that around the ball. Not much of him, but gee, he can run.
Chance from Prestia. Back in the side. And on the scoreboard. 3 in a row for Richmond.
Well, clearly still only early, but there's some energy about the Tigers at the moment. They're up and about. You do wonder whether GWS are just a little bit flat after what they saw from one of their all-time greats. And as we said, they turned the ball over again. It was another errant handball from GWS earlier coming out of the back half that allowed the Tigers to keep the ball inside 50. This is when they're at their best, Richmond, when they can apply some forward pressure, get after the opposition. We've seen them do it a number of times this season.
Toby Bedford had the match up at that stoppage. Just got pushed under the footy, and then he was able to break back, get the hand pass and snap truly. This has been impressive from the Tigers, and it's the midfield that's doing the damage.
Might be 32 years of age, still impressive, but he's still a ball magnet, Howie. That's just what he does.
Great to see him back after a long layoff with the Achilles and various soft tissue. Here he is again. Multiple premierships from the former Gold Coast Sun. Richmond again. You get the clearance out of the middle. Caleb Smith injured the ground. Thomas with the tackle.
Well, it was interesting. The umpire said arm free, and then he blew for a ball up. Expected that to be holding the ball once the umpire says arms free.
Riccardi. A bit too slick for O'Halloran. Comes back the other way. Prestia again. Smith and Prestia. Picking up possessions in a hurry at the moment. What's he up to?
6 already.
6. Now Sonzi. Takes a bit off the kick. Shallow entry. Inside 50. Spoil comes from behind.
So we get another stoppage here. Just keep an eye on it. The Tigers are dominating 8-2 the clearances early doors. Absolutely smashing the Giants around the stoppage.
And ground balls 21-9, so they're just hunting the footy more than the Giants at the moment.
Let's keep the opener. Richmond will reply with the next 3. Green, tight on the boundary line, too tight in the end.
There's almost going to be another clearance score there.
Lynch grabs out of the ruck, doesn't quite get purchase. A hand pass on the way through. McMullen delivered it, coming on as the sub. Now Riccardi off half back. Conti, wants someone to come towards him, takes it easy, casual bounce. Kelly, back from whence it came. Well set up behind through Miller.
Yeah, they're really conscious of not letting Giants change angles. They want to keep them down one side of the field so then you can get defenders rolling across and supporting. So it was well done by the Tigers.
It's clever by Miller. It left Hogan back in the corridor because he could see where the ball was being forced.
Trainer provides the lead. Miller honours it.
Normally a fast starting side. GWS Giants this season, but so much here. Richmond only averaged 14 points a game in quarter 1, so they're already above their season average.
Prestia. Been good by hand early, the Tigers. Slicing through the middle of ENGIE effectively to Ross. A lot of open space ahead. Sends it into the pocket. Long ball to fall. And Jonty marks within range.
This clearance work from the Tigers is putting the Giants' defence under enormous pressure. I thought that was the wrong kick because I thought he had Lynch on the lead. It was 5 metres clear, but he knew what he was doing. Ross, and whether it was that one just to the area, I don't know, but it's hit Jonty on the lead. So another opportunity for the Tigers.
One of the big draft haul, the 4th of Richmond's 6 first-round picks last year's draft, came in at number 14. 3 goals for the season.
One of that bevy of tools that they've got that can play at both ends.
Dominant 10 minutes by the Tigers.
Yep.
It's a really flat start by GWS Giants, isn't it?
I reckon Adam Kingsley will be waiting for that quarter-time huddle just to reset. Just have a chat and get things back on an even keel.
Joe Fonte, not the distance. McMullen is searching long ball. The Taylor on the run. Now Riccardi. Saw Ali wouldn't be the distance and be hassled by Campbell, so elected in the end to spread it wide to Whitfield.
Tigers have been able to roll most of their numbers back inside D50 now, so a lot of room here for Hogan and co.
There's a touch short of Bedford, plays on, changes the angle, sends a ball deep. Here's Jesse out the back. Pack of players, nearly claimed it. So dangerous in a contested situation as Jesse Hogan.
Pack of players, right?
Yeah.
6 on 6 in the goal scorer.
Massive. Have to do something special to market in a pack like that. We've got a blood rule.
Richmond Taylor. Richmond youth trainer and off.
What are they doing it on the stat sheet at the moment, the Tigers, Joe?
Well, as Jay said, it's all in clearance in ground ball. 9-3 clearances, 22-10 in ground ball. So they're just hunting those loose footies at the moment. Their first 2 of them, they're giving themselves some opportunity. That's why they've got 13 inside 50s to 5. And they're working hard defensively, Richmond, to get numbers back inside D50 and also try and protect the corridor.
And Curvis dominant in the ruck.
Clearance.
Hurried hands out from Kane McCall. Clearing ball out to the wing. Green outsized. Trying to bring it back was Himmelberg. Green does well. Nice little spin. Then lays off.
I think they're doing very well. Contested possession, 31-14. You don't think Adam Kingsley will make a mention of that at quarter time?
Yeah, well, it has been a vulnerability of the Giants for most of the season, this facet of the game. We probably didn't expect it against Richmond, but maybe we underestimated the Tigers. So, got to get to work here, the Giants, win some ground ball.
And Mooney will speak to the Tigers coach at quarter time, so we'll get an update on that.
It's too easy.
Giants coach, sorry. Driving ball forward again. Lear's at the back. Ball at ground level, needs to be clean, does well to edge it towards his teammate in Campbell. Alir, Taranto through his head back. Giants clear, hurriedly. Broad. Now Hopper. Back to Nankervis. They give up ground to Campbell Gray. Winds it into the pocket. This comes from behind. Ford, he had no real opportunity. And he's got a free kick for holding.
How do you get held while he's throwing the ball up to kick it? And you get a holding free kick. He actually gets his boot to it, but the decision's still paid. Strange one. Assuming they said he never had control of the footy, I guess.
Already had one set shot. That's 4.
He'll strike it well from this far out round the corner.
Get to behind with his first opportunity. He does strike it very well. Does Jonty fall, and Richmond have kicked 4 in a row.
This is so one-sided when you look across the board at the numbers. 15-5, the inside 50s. 33-15, the contested possessions. 11-3, the clearances. So this is dangerous.
It's not only just the clearance, it's how easy they're getting out of stops.
Yeah.
Like they're being untouched when they're coming out of the clearances at the moment. So I think Adam Kingsley might have to get someone. I wouldn't be surprised if Toby Green threw himself in there or do something different, because at the moment, Tigers are having their way with them.
Well, Richmond fans, this is what you're looking at. Armstrong, unfortunately, out injured. Lawler with a hamstring. Trainer playing today. Liam Fawcett. Jonty Ford came in round 5 to debut. Campbell Gray, the big number 50. And Thomas Sims in round 9. So it's a nice introduction to some talented footballers.
A lot of tall players in that group too. They drafted. They've got a lot on their list, Richmond, and we still haven't seen 2 of the most talented first-year players, Josh Smiley and Taj Houghton. We'll hopefully get some games later in the season.
So there's Toby Green in for the centre bounce. Makes no difference.
Again, it's the Tigers through McCall. Ralph Smith eases into the pocket, coming back with the hands of Briggs. Richmond will come again here. Taranto. Deep ball forward, falls at the back of the pack, and that's where it goes. Green arrives, and Green nails it 5 in a row for the Tiger Cubs.
Oh, this is exciting. It's just relentless. They're hunting the ball. They're surging it forward. And when the ball hits the ground in the forward 50, they're just swarming in numbers. This has been super impressive.
I just want to see this. Watch this contest here, the ground ball, this 50-50 ball coming up right here. There's O'Halloran one way, Taranto coming the other. Taranto just wanted it more. O'Halloran needed to commit his body. Another deep entry. And these smalls, as we said, they can get to work if there's a lot of ground ball inside 50. That's what they're getting at the moment. Just take a look at this one there again. You can't just reach with one hand when you're getting smacked around the footy in that facet of the game. Sometimes O'Halloran's played a lot of footy now. You need to just commit the body and win some of those 50-50 balls, because they're all going the Tigers' way.
These are the times coaches would love a timeout, Howie. You would call one straight away if you were the Giants.
Good body work there to provide the run through
So they need the leadership. Toby Green, he's brought himself into the middle. He recognises the problem. Is he able to help them win some clearances?
If you've just come home and turned on the telly, the Giants kicked the first. Richmond have responded with the next 5 to hold a 27-point margin for all sorts of pressure. The Giants, another turnover.
And how they're feeling, the third pressure. Connor Wright there, just lacking composure.
Thanks to Cessers. Sends another inside 50 ball. Buckley tracks back. Mullen. Lynch opens up for him. Hands it off. Taranto. Quite the distance. Ball stays in play to a dangerous area. Giants will be under pressure. Fonte was very casual running out of defence. Green's been everywhere. Nankervis for 6 in a row, right to the top of the square.
And that's a win from Lynch to be able to get that ball to ground. He's flying up, but this team, Jason, it's super impressive the way the Tigers are just hunting these Giants defenders and midfielders at the moment.
They just need Tom Lynch to keep his cool. They're playing so well. He's providing a great target up forward. They don't want him to just go over the top and start giving away free kicks or something worse.
Tigers pressing again. Nankervis. O'Halloran just hand passed it straight back to the Tigers. Hopper didn't really want to favour the left. Hands it back to Smith. Further back, inching ball forward. Maybe another opportunity here for Ross.
And that's the composure we were talking about that has gone missing from the Giants game. When there's hand passes around the forward 50, everyone's thinking, I've got to snap the goal. He just had a look, Tom Brown, and just saw a little target inside 50. And then he was able to hit the target and give them the set shot.
Jack Ross, 7th season, picked up back in 2018 with pick 43 from the angle. Slides right off the outside of the boot. A couple of missed opportunities to really dominate the turn.
Next up, keep coming, Emma. Keep coming, keep meters.
I just wonder if they've got a bit of a second mode in them here, the Giants, just to be able to try and control a bit of ball, absorb a bit of pressure, or do they just continue to try and play the way they always want to out of defence?
Hogan, good strong contested grab and a knee in the back of Nankervis' head for his trouble. Ash with the switch to Buckley. With the easy bounces. Good field. Better build up this by the Giants to Iden. To the top of the square. Nearly Riccardi goes a second time.
Ball. Thanks, Dave. Raft. Kieran. Reach for the raft. Toby. Kieran. Play on.
Jones from tight in the pocket to a dangerous area. Richmond have got the numbers in the air though. That's Caleb Smith in his 10th game. Seeing it through.
Nick. I think it's fair. Thank
Their
you.
4th clearance win of the quarter. GWS, Darcy Jones there, 4-14. It's Jacob Hopper leading the way against his former side. 5 clearances, 11 disposals. Credit to the Tigers. Giants just look flat.
You.
A fly from the athletic Ralph Smith, Kelly. Ward. Bingo provides the pressure. Hopper runs back into that pressure. Good tackle too. And well done by Cody Ango, who has not kicked an AFL goal. He's a young-looking man, baby face, and he'll get an opportunity.
Interesting argument from Hopper. He's suggesting he got a handball away, but it looked like he just tried to do too much. Turned back into traffic, got pinged. An opportunity here that they just desperately need.
Ango for a first AFL goal, and he nails it! Something for the Giants, and they'll celebrate with young Cody.
He showed me Cody Ango. I liked him last week, Jason, the game against Carlton. He was impressive with some of his hands. He was clean. As you said, he's only lightly framed and baby face, but he's got some talent about him. Bit of a bolter in the draft. And here he's just getting after Hopper. And you're right, just a little bit too casual in his defensive 50. Need to be a bit more assertive. They'll be frustrated there. Richmond to allow, they basically let the Giants off the hook.
Does he get a hand pass to him?
Nah, it was a clear throw. Saw the other angle. Yeah,
It's a good committed tackle.
What he is getting asked for ID on a night in the town, I would have thought.
He's very lightly framed, but he threw himself into the tackle. He tackled with passion, with endeavour. Love it.
Great way to bring up your first AFL goal, and much needed, just the second, and breaking a run of 5 in a row from Richmond. A good 21-point margin. Darcy Jones steaming through the contest, lost his feet.
He was running too quick. He was.
Toby, Kieran, hold the meat up. Straight back.
Taranto's been busy at disposals so far. It's dumped into the ground.
And he thought about it too, the umpire. Fortunately, didn't hit his head.
Bedford, the tackler on trainer. Have a look at it.
Threw him to the ground. He needed more on the ball.
He's got to be careful too, Bedford.
Yeah.
He's got a history of dangerous tackles. Lucky a couple of times.
Campbell Gray sends it to the wing. Himmelberg comes off his shoulder. Nankervis. He's got beyond. Kieran brings on top of him.
Push in the back.
Curvis looks for Lynch. Not hurt a finger. The advantage taken, but not taken well.
And that's one of those real wasted opportunities you spoke about earlier, Jace, wasn't it?
And as a key forward, you get a free kick. 50 out. Tom Lynch can pick it a good 50.
He's going to come off Lynch. Looks like he might have popped a finger here.
Old dislocated finger.
Highest first quarter score for the Tigers under their coach Adam Uze. Immediately grabbed his hand. Brown working hard at ground level. Logan puts his head down. And Tom Green to a bit of space. Richmond got the numbers. They work it through Caleb Smith. The advantage will be paid.
And they're on the outside here.
Mansell. A lot of time and space. Kicks it to a 2-on-2 down the line. Taranto. On the bench.
Possession number 10 for Taranto now. Backing up the move that Jacob Hopper's doing.
Good dangerous area. Just away from Nankervis. Comes back in towards Fall.
The style of footy's working for Richmond, and when they've got the chance, they'll be patient going inside 50. They'll allow numbers to get in there. They can set up behind the ball, and they know that if they swarm and pressure the Giants defenders, they do get good looks. They'll be able to turn the ball over.
Somsey. Squeezing spiral forward. Running on it with his green.
See, they look dangerous as soon as the ball's on the deck. They've got numbers, they've got pace.
Steely Green really brings some effort and pace to that forward 50.
Toby Green, after that huge performance last week, again 250, just 2 disposals so far.
Line to be under pressure. Taps it in front of himself, gets a quick hand pass away. Taranto. Bedford goes off the ground to space. Big tackle by Bryan.
Tommy Lynch is just going around into the change rooms. Guys, have a look at that hand. I think he might have split his webbing. There's a fair bit of blood coming out of that.
Yeah, well, that's not fun.
Contest in the middle of ENGIE Stadium. Falls to Campbell. Just short of Fall. He was on the long lead. And through McMullen. And the Tigers win the contested ball.
Yeah, swarming pressure, outstanding. So this
Taranto.
first quarter.
What about the term he's had it?
There's just no such thing as an easy possession for the Giants at the moment. You mentioned Hopper before, Joey. He's had 12 possessions and 6 clearances. Taranto's coming up to possession number 11 and possibly his second goal.
Well, this might hurt him kicking after the siren because I think he's a guy that would like to just arc out when he has this shot from this distance, but he'll have to run straights, which we've seen all season. Players that kick after the siren and they get conscious about holding their line and they tend to shank these set shots.
Take it out to 28 points, which is probably representative of the term we've seen. Taranto, massive term. His 11th disposal, looking for a second goal. On his distance, Taranto hits it absolutely beautifully. Has he got the legs? He thinks so. The Tigers hope so. The goal umpire says so. Big turn, the Tigers. 6-5-41 to 113. They lead it by 28 points. What a turn that is. Richmond, their biggest turn. Under Adamuze for a first quarter, 28 points to the good. Saturday afternoon footy.
All right, folks, welcome in. Look at what a first quarter. What a first quarter. Unexpected, but you've got to love it. You got to love it, especially if you're a Tigers fan or you're up around that midsection of the top 8. So the Giants don't get this one. But the Tigers, wowee, 6-5-41, leading the Giants 2-1, 13, 11 scoring shots in that opening term. Tim Taranto, take a bow. You are fantastic for the Tigers in that opening term. Gotta love it. Gotta love the underdogs. I tell you what, they're not a bad side. They're playing good pressure. The Tigers, Giants, the Giants are just, I think they forgot to come out to play just at the moment. But I'm sure, the coach will give them a little bit of a rev up and say, boys, the game started. Get to it. Get to work. Adrian. Shout out to Adrian Sports Channel, Carly Hughes in the chat. B3, what's going on? Ella Rose, Game Board, Shouty, I Draw CT, what's going on? And A, what do you think of the game so far? I like the game so far. I like the way the Tigers are playing. As I said, in all this year, I think the Tigers have got a bright future this side. They've got a lot of up-and-coming players that I think just need time, just need experience. I think the Tigers are well ahead of where people were thinking they were going to be this time of year. And I do think it's definitely their structure is a lot better up forward with Tom Lynch in the side. I think they just didn't know where to go to last time when Tom Lynch wasn't there. But with him here, I think it just gives them a bit better structure and more options with a lot more confidence going forward. And, of course, Tim Taranto's having a ball burster of an opening quarter. We're going to check his stats in just a moment. Of course, a few of the big guns really unsighted for the Giants at the moment. Actually, let me have a look at some of the ins and outs for these teams. I didn't get there. The Giants coming in was Josh Kelly, Toby McCullen. Going out were Jacob Ware and Harry Ralston. Toby McMullen is the sub. And, of course, for Richmond Tigers, Dion Prestia, Tyler Sonsay, Tom Lynch, Toby Nankervis. Three big ins coming in there. Of course, Prestia, Lynch, Nankervis. Tell you what, they missed them last game. Going out, Thompson, Dowell, Sam Laylor, Samson Ryan, Morris Rioli. There we go, and that is your lineup. I think from memory, Sam Laylor got a little bit injured last week. Disgraceful umpires will probably rob match fixing these Richmond Tigers this year. Hawthorn wannabes. No one wants to be Hawthorn because Hawthorn aren't doing too good this year. As we said, you don't want to be Hawthorn wannabes. Hawthorn, they're all mouth and no action. This is what we're seeing from Hawthorn a lot of the games this year. Ginnivan, the Wizard, they're all mouth. And their big mouths have got them into trouble, and now they can't even get a kick on the ground. The Wizard, he was lucky not to be subbed last night, although Ginnivan had a fantastic opening first half last night. Richmond, make no mistake about that. I think Richmond have got more down-to-earth players than some of the Hawthorn team. I think Hawthorn think they're really good, but they've produced nothing yet. So there we go until they do a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. I think Hawks just need to go about their work, and I think Sam Mitchell understands that. Some of the players don't. That's the unfortunate part. Richmond, though, a good young side, up and coming, as I said. They're no showpiece. They do their work on the ground. I think they're well above where most people would have expected them to be just at the moment. Let's just have a look at the goal scorers out on the ground. Tim Taranto, only multiple for the Tigers. He's kicked 2. Prestia, Lynch, Steely Green with 1 with John Full. The Giants, there we go. Tom Green, first goal scorer of the game, and of course Cody Angrove. You think the Giants can come back? Oh, absolutely, Giants can come back. Don't write the Giants off. The Giants are a pretty good side when they get things back in track in their mind and the way they need to play. I tell you what, the Giants have been in reasonably good form, and they're a good team. Giants, they'll definitely make no mistake there. They'll come back. I've got no doubt they'll come back. Richmond just played really good football in that opening term. The Giants, as I said, they were still on the bus. That's it. So didn't look like it got off the bus, but I expect Giants to come back hard. We'll just have a look at the stats. Look at that. 3 Richmond players already over 10. Jacob Hopper up to 12. 5 kicks, 7 handballs, 6 clearances. Had a fantastic opening. Tim Taranto on 11, 2 goals. Dion Prestia 11. He's kicked a goal, 3 clearances. So just fantastic quarters by them. And as you can see, Lockie Whitfield was the highest with Connor Iden on 7 there with Tom Green for the Giants. Just 7. They need to get a little bit more of the ball. Play a little bit more brand that they know of, because they're a pretty good team, the GWS Giants. They're running away. As I said, last week their form was pretty good. Let me just go back to when I can find it. Where's the fixture? I just can't quite remember who the Giants beat last week, but I think it was... Where's the Giants? Oh, it was Carlton. They beat Carlton at the MCG. That's right. It was fantastic. They really did well then. There we go. All right, let's get back down. Actually, you know what? There are the stats. There we go. You can pause it if you want to have a look. Let's get back down to the game, folks. Let's get back down to the game. Second quarter is underway. There we go. It's the Tigers by 28.
Action! He hits Thomas Sims on the lead.
Just explain to me which team's in the 8, Tony. It looks like they've swapped.
They're out.
Some of the things they're doing, a great lead from Sims, and the pass was spectacular.
That's your ankle.
Playing just game number 4, wearing the number 8, 38 that Michael Laffey used to wear in the 80s. Let's see if he can start the turn perfectly for the Tigers. And a 3rd goal in his career. Doesn't quite nail it.
Left a few out there, haven't they? And even again, the first set of clearance, and they were just talking those clearances. Hopper, Prestia, Taranto have had 10 clearances between them. Giants have only had 6 to the team, but even Josh Kelly had the footy. One of their senior players needed to be stronger with it.
Now the opportunity goes begging for the Tigers. Oh, free kick to Hogan.
Lucky about Hogan in this first quarter and a bit, just to be able to provide a contest, and he's won 3 of them now on the wing.
And here the home crowd, they're desperate to get involved, but they've had nothing to actually get their teeth into.
He's having to win them on the wing though, not inside 50 at the moment, Jesse. Now Bedford, one of the players that got to talk to from the coach at quarter time. High entry inside 50, Broad will come from behind, provides the fist. Banks.
It was interesting, the discussion about Bedford, because we mentioned earlier that he was attending to Taranto at the stoppages, but then they released him. They wanted to try and get something positive in an attacking sense, but the way they're getting dominated in the middle, it sounds like Adam Kings has gone back and said, you just hard tag Taranto and stop his influence.
Sounds like that was his chance to just play as a pure mid, Jason.
Yep.
Didn't go too long.
It's gone, Johnny.
Lost him with a big fist. Broad scoops it back. They need to be clean by hand. 3 premierships to Broad, he is that. Alongside his mate Gloston. Tigers running out of room on the outer side. They managed to just continue to move the ball forward and get it out offensive side of the wing.
And just on that midfield conversation, just watch for Tom Green, because he virtually poked him in the chest and said, you need to go and do something in there with Hopper as well. So watch for Tom Green.
As we said off the top, he's their constant. He's their number one man, winning clearance and contested possessions. So
Didn't win a clearance in the first term. 7 possessions and a goal, but no clearances.
The opening goal, and then the Giants gave up the next 5. Ralph Smith goes off the ground, just pokes it forward, overruns it on his second opportunity. Fonte hands and knees, trying to scramble it out to his team's advantage.
This is sometimes where, Joey, where you get that mighty spray at quarter time and then you try too hard. And we're starting to see a little bit of that. Trying to droop a bit too hard here, the Giants, and the ball's just slipping out of their hands.
Risky check side in the middle. Leo takes a while to pick it up. Good tackle applied on him. Really good tackle. Pin the arm, won the free. Now Banks, good user. Just in play.
Tom Lynch still on the bench, so have to rely on some of the youngsters.
Lead. Oh, he had a little one in the pocket if he wanted it.
Falls the long lead. Now Mansell dumps it into the square, falls back in the area, but Alier comes and destroys the contest.
It mightn't look like a sexy possession, but sometimes that little chip into the pocket allows for a set shot. Everyone gets set up defensively behind the ball. It's not a bad play to take.
First game of the season for Lecalier. Doesn't look like he's missed many gym sessions though.
He's a good athlete. That's what he does as well as any defender. And to get up and fish that ball through.
Amazing looking athlete.
So he's chiselled out of marble.
That sounds like envy in your voice,
A
mate.
man after loses his own
I
heart.
had a couple of training sessions with him and I was very envious.
Did you keep the shirt on, I presume, Cameron?
I did, yes.
Now Miller, who's had the job on Hogan and done well.
Which it should be noted is rare for me.
High ball forward from Miller. Spills to the ground. Taylor can't complete the mark. Only a real strong point for him.
They're just controlling the tempo at the moment, the Tigers, and they're controlling territory, which is giving them a great opportunity to set up, to lock it in, to get those repeat stoppages, and they're doing so well around the ball-ups.
Riggs, Nankervis. Green, almost a fresh area. Pressed her into the back of Toby Green. Quite confusing with Steely Green out there. Toby Green and Tom Green. Brown as well.
It's a lot of colours.
He's a lot of colours. He's one of the greens.
Again, just fumbles.
Yep.
Through everybody. Mansell to a dangerous area. Looking for options to come back towards him. Prestia already kicked one on the check side. Prestia just burning a few chances.
It's the wrong option, though, to kick a check side from directly in front. You've got to start that way left to the target. He was running straight at it.
He's the highest rated player in the ground in the first quarter. Dion Prestia, we said he's a ball magnet. It's just what he does. 13 disposals.
Trouble is they've kicked 6-8 now, Joey. If that's 8-6 or 10-4, the game's nearly over.
Back to that Tom Green ground ball. That's exactly what Adam Kingsley sprayed him at quarter time. Said, right, you've got to set the tone. He had a perfect opportunity and overran it again.
Sounds strange, but the 30-point margin is flattering the Giants. Could be up to 40 plus. Ralph Smith looking to increase it now to a 1-on-1. Fall, Buckley, Fall does well. Iden does well not to give away a free. Buckley comes at ground level. Now Sonsi picks it up, looks for a squaring ball, and it works out. Oh, not paid, not the required distance.
Gee, it was a great square kick. A little unlucky, just perhaps didn't hold it long enough to be paid the mark. But they're relentless. It's 25-9, the inside 50. This will be 26.
It's been dominating the game. Campbell, high ball forward. Durante did everything to keep it in.
Even that's been important, Chase, the young key forwards. They haven't allowed Buckley and Taylor to mark this footy. Even if they haven't done it themselves, they've halved the contest.
Saw Johnny Fall a moment ago make a tremendous effort just to bring the ball to ground and allow the smalls to go to work.
Only one intercept mark so far for the Giants for the whole game. And it keeps the ball inside their forward 50, so their smalls can get to work here and apply some pressure.
Both Ruckman missed it. Prestia had one opportunity, elected not to take this one. Ralph Smith from the pocket.
Oh, they are peppering, absolutely peppering
What about Prestia? No Giant even got near him when he won that clearance. Inside a forward 50 stoppage, he just was able to take his time. One person for the Giants touched him and was able to get that handball out to Rob Smith. Same with the replay. Everyone just runs away from him.
A lot of the midfielders, we know they like to back themselves. At least we know that Bedford's on Duranta. But who's taking accountability for the others?
All behinds for the turn for the Tigers. 6 inside 50s to 1 for the turn. In a quarter, you really expected the Giants to respond.
Well, we haven't seen the response yet. So Adam Kingsley's spray hasn't worked as of yet because the game is still the exact same mode it was in the first quarter.
Does not look to be in the greatest of moods. Prestia off for a quick spell. Needs it. Been brilliant.
Briggs steaming through Ash, providing some real forward momentum. To a contest, out the back, Cadman's there. Overrunning it is Jones.
Finally, a little bit of an opportunity for GWS to maybe get some repeat stoppages inside their forward 50. Give their defenders a little bit of a breather. See if they can apply some pressure of their own.
Forward 50 disposals, 34 to 5. Away of the visitors. Dangerous areas though at the moment for Richmond. Bedford grabs it out. Mullen squaring ball. So he's got the answers again through Caleb Smith. And a 1 is won by Ash.
Wasn't a great kick from that midfielder, Jace.
Had to find the boundary side of that pairing to give his teammate the advantage.
Really green outsized in that contest. Ash delivers it. Entry inside 50. And Curvis standing in front, happy to kill the ball out towards Campbell Gray. Kicked it into his opponent's foot out the full.
Showed some nice things, hasn't he, Campbell Gray, in his first few weeks? He did today.
Did he mean that?
I don't know, it's a good question.
Because he kicks it along the ground straight into it.
I'm not giving him that much credit. He's been good. Well, that's just that good.
Campbell with a resulting 3. Aaliyah.
For the first time today, we've seen the Giants defenders be able to hit the set mark. Best way to relieve the pressure.
There's just no flow to their ball movement, though. The pressure, the manning up, the defensive structure from the Tigers has been great. It's causing errors like this.
Owning the midfield, Chief. That's what they're doing at the moment. Richmond.
That's a good kick.
That is a good kick from Ash. Mullen. Himmelberg.
There, though, he wanted to go corridor, and the end Richmond forced him wide. So at least they can defend this now, Richmond. You can see them flood back, try and keep them skinny side.
Into Harvey Thomas. Now Cadman. Well set up defensively here, the Tigers. Cadman will just set it to the top of the square, hoping for something special in the air, but it comes from Nankervis.
Jesse Hogan on the bench at the moment, so he's clearly their best contested mark inside forward 50.
Players bowl over in the contest. Lynch wants a free. Not awarded. So he paid to Cadman.
Having a few words with Himmelberg. Let's hope it's just words.
They just tripped over each other in the contest. Sam Taylor out wide on the switch to Ash, who's had a good little period.
And you can see the defensive zone for the Tigers just moves across as the Giants change direction. Just adjusts. Still got most of the forward holes plugged.
Presenting for Kelly. So he gains a bit of ground. Good contest in the air. It's a big, strong mark. Brown.
You want to talk about an athlete? This guy is absolutely one of those. He's a fantastic pack mark, isn't it?
Well, it was going to take something like that because they weren't able to identify targets. They couldn't find space. And it's a genuine, strong pack mark. A terrific one. And now Brown needs to go back and kick the goal.
Playing Gaelic footy, played for County Derry, then he switched to AFL, did Callum M. Brown, and his team need this after the Tigers peppering with misses at the other end. Brown from close range.
season. Hasn't really seen a lot of this in his game, but as Boone said, he's a powerhouse of an athlete, so that was an impressive mark, and they needed to generate something. Maybe now they can just build a little bit of momentum off the back of the settler.
Point margin at quarter time. Back to 25 points. Richmond prior to that, 4 behinds. Jones, clever work to Kelly. The Giants get a bit of momentum now with a couple in a row. Brown, Smith. Brown. Oh, it's the lure out there. 2 browns, 3 greens. In front of himself, besieged by a couple of Giants. Jones, Thomas, and is standing up. The form of Campbell Gray. They'll come again here though, the Giants. Kelly, hooking ball right to the top of the square, broad. Fisted straight back into the corridor. Taranto's there to lend a hand, and they get out of it through Prestia. Hacking ball in the middle of the ground. Here's a ball to be won. Fall, Buckley gets away from Fall. Aggressive forward hand pass, right? Halloran, they're building again here, the Giants. Sending it forward, but only as far as Taranto. He's having a massive game. Played on, ran into trouble. Giants turn it over. Important passage, this one back through Ango, who his first goal earlier on. Aaliyah. 2 Tigers, 1 flies, and flies nicely. And that is the young man, again, Thomas Sims, who's done some impressive things.
He's been good, playing second ruck, getting Curvis on the bench, going up against Riccardi, but showing his athleticism.
99 centimetres he's listed as Sims. Well, he is starting to have an impact on the intercepts.
Yeah, that's his second intercept. Just being able to run unobstructed at the footy.
Tigers have just lost a bit of their forward structure now that they're sort of playing a bit of defence at the moment, having to defend a long way back.
Angove keeps the ball in. He might get it on the 1-2 from Cadman. Again, he keeps it in. Good work by Angove. He's got an opportunity through Bedford. The Tigers defenders swap back inside defensive 50. It's well played by Angove to give them the opportunity. Oh, gee, that was just the required distance.
7 metres. So, just need to hold it up, allow their key forwards to reset down the line. Just set up behind the ball, so I control it.
Sims to centre wing, 30 to set mark about the last 6 minutes from Aaliyah.
Yeah, he's the one that's getting off the chain at the moment. They've got to get a better competitive effort in the air, which they were getting in the first quarter, the Tigers.
Riccardi, Milberg, Harvey Thomas.
Man on the mark, that's a really call.
Widen up his 11th disposal. Lockie Ash with 14 leads the Giants. Prestia, Taranto and Hopper all 15 apiece for Richmond. Whitfield. Pinpoint ball forward. Riccardi. Hogan's back on the ground. They go down towards Jesse now. He's a bit behind the contest. Doesn't matter though. Flying across his Cadman.
The free kick off the ball.
Punches got on the Sims.
Yeah, he just put himself in the hole. He was the ruckman playing. Kick behind the play. Looked like he was set to compete in the air and was taken out of it. Just keep an eye on Hogan, pushes the left hand in the back. Yeah, it's a good decision. I'm not sure he would have been able to stop Cadman taking the mark.
Taylor in the contest. Tigers straight through Ralph Smith. They've missed opportunities this term. Ralph Smith across the face.
That's what they can do. If they keep competing, the Richmond the Giants at ground level, so they continue to get good opportunities. Now again, they can reset behind the ball, get some repeat stoppages inside 50, try and build that pressure again. They just lost momentum for about 5 or 10 minutes there.
Ball clean below his knees. And they're a bit tentative. It breaks the tackle. He'll send them inside 50. Wild going out the corner. Just opportunity again for Richmond.
Yeah, just like a little bit of polish by foot. Kicking the ball at 59% the Tigers, which is well below competition average. But they are getting a lot of the ball, which they haven't really done traditionally this season. They only get outpossessed by the opposition.
It's joining us, Richmond led by 28 at quarter time. Unfortunately, Callum was subbed out. We've got like a very serious knee issue. Mullen, the sub, was ejected early. Ralph Smith inches it forward. Mansell. Now Ross.
Had to go short and wide, but it was nothing deep except Giants back there, so it was a smart option.
Ball. And up a long time, lost into got to control it. Back to Gray. And Brown.
This isn't bad either by the Tigers. Just possess the ball, chip it around, try and shift and draw up a few of the Giants that are filling the holes in defence.
Hopper offered to play on, steps around his man. Hopper, they've missed opportunities. Hopper though celebrates with his teammates and nails it from 50.
Well, Jacob Hopper is building some game. He's now had 17 possessions. He's had 7 clearances. He's kicked the goal, in fact 16 possessions. And a goal, 7 clearances, 9 contested possessions, 5 score involvements. He's doing it all, Joe.
Just watch the man on the mark though here. So Young Angove could have stood the mark right on the line.
Yeah.
Instead, he goes all the way back inside 50, which just gives Hopper a little bit of time, a little bit of momentum, and then when he's able to sell the candy, he gets inside 50. So interesting tactic that the Giants do that often, but gave Hopper enough time and space to kick his first.
Look at the smiles. They are enjoying themselves, and why wouldn't they be? This is a tremendous brand of footy they're playing.
Reward for effort. Repeat inside 50s. Hopper again with the clearance. Kelly sends it back the other way. Hogan hasn't had many opportunities forward. Whitfield dances. Now to Toby Green and finishes it with class, does Toby.
Well, the forwards just need some opportunities, don't they, Chase? I mean, they've hardly had a look at it, this talented group. The GWS going inside 50, but one player again that's lifted in the last 10 minutes has been Darcy Jones. He's won a couple of clearances, a couple of important possessions, and he's involved in that one as well. He's just giving the Giants a little bit of momentum, a bit of hope going into this half-time break. You can see the kick to a contest. Jones coming in off the top, the front square, and the sharp little give to Whitfield, who's playing as that high half forward. Coming up to the contest, you know, Toby Green always finish towards any player.
The guys to run for the term, the Giants. Trail by 28 at quarter time after Richmond banged on 5 unanswered. The 25-point margin. Good work out of the middle. Tom Green. Into the man that Lee pointed out was lifting. Darcy Jones. All ahead of him. Low skimming ball. Hogan was deep. Ross needs to be clean. Just overruns it. There's an opportunity for Whitfield. Boston. Sent round the line. Good contest by 4. Putting a couple of lines and he just overcooked it.
Well, they've still got to fix up their clearances. That's what's killing the Giants at the moment. So they're getting beaten 21-12, but it's the score scoring from stoppages. That's the difference in the game. They both kicked 4 goals from turnovers, but the Tigers have kicked 3-5 from clearances. The Giants have kicked a point.
Kick cross for Cal Ward. Down in a tackle. The first turn immediately grabbed his knee. Opposite knee that is reconstructed. Turnover by hand. Prestia. Squeezing ball is good. And the mark is taken by a man who's having an impressive game in Sims.
I don't know if Toby Green heard a call or if it was just speculation, but he fired out a hand pass corridor behind him. That's gone straight to the opposition.
It's so uncharacteristic, isn't it? Panicky and rushed, and good composure from Dion Prestio. You're right, Howie. Sims has been really impressive in his first half.
Good last year for Northern Knights and Vic Metro. Kicked 7 in the Coats at one stage. Big 7 bag.
His last set shot wasn't great.
Okay, that was the last one. What can he do this time? Sims from 48. It lopes forward, doesn't quite get the distance. Quite have the spin he was after.
No, didn't get great contact on the boot. So a little bit of work to do on his kicking, but he looks a man with a future, doesn't he? He's talented, he's athletic, he's competitive.
1 goal 5 though. Just hope that doesn't come back to bite them with so much dominance in this first half. Should be further in front.
Could easily be a 45-point margin. Riccardi looks to the corridor. He's jammed up.
You see, wanting to go there.
Nash with a 16th disposal, hangs it up a touch. Campbell's in the middle, applies the second tackle on Whitfield. Back to Himmelberg. They come again, the Giants. McMullen, that's a good hit on the 45 with pressure coming. Tom Green.
Is he on the journey, Joe?
Well, he does back himself in. He does like to think he can kick it from outside 50. We saw him flush one, the opening goal of the game, off one step. He does have it in him with his very best.
8 goals for the season, average 30-plus disposals, this man, for the last 3 years. He's a powerhouse for a second, and 2 in a row. Tom Green makes good contact. Just drifts across.
All clear. Toby, thank you. So, your own team.
Tasmanian Banks assesses the options.
Super since he's moved to halfback.
Buckley with the sport. Ball stays in play.
Well, they're making a bit of ground in the second quarter, the Giants. They are fighting back. They've evened up the territory. 11 to 10, the inside 50s. Clearances 7 to 5 now. Just got their nose in front. Slightly down in contest possession, but back on an even keel at least.
Important final 2 minutes, you feel. Young sides, red time, starting to get a fatigue. You don't want to concede one late. Give the Giants a bit of momentum at the break.
Listen, we talk about those misses, Joe, because they're not dominating anymore, the Tigers. They did dominate their first quarter and a bit, and they didn't quite punish them as much as they perhaps could have on the scoreboard.
You're never going to dominate for 4 quarters, especially against a really good team. They've had their momentum. Hasn't been capitalised on enough. Well, only time will tell at the end of the game. But Giants have done well here to just to wrestle it back.
1 goal 5, Richmond 2 goals 2 the Giants. There's been some very kickable opportunities in that 1 goal 5 as well for the Tigers. Green, using strength. Banks, Ross, round the body. Just a bit too much. Buckley might have given a shove. He has. Here's again. Sims sees something in the pocket. Running back with the flight, taking a good mark. There's Green.
Clever kick from Sims. Now they just need something special from Green from the tight angle.
Steely Green, his mother named him after the American band Steely Dan. You familiar with them, Jason?
I am.
What's he got? 5 goals for the season. Steely. 5 behinds this term, Richmond. From a tight angle. Behinds. And Curvis, 30 seconds on the clock. Still time for the Tigers. He's calming things down.
Well, they can still go long down the line here and give themselves one last chance if they could win this contest.
Lear's trying to play loose back behind the play. Marks on his chest, 17 seconds. Needs to move it, does. Plays on. Looks at a touch going for distance. Buckley sees it across the line.
I suspect he looked like he got the yell from the bench. Just told him, get it in there. There's only 20 seconds left. So they get one chance at a clearance or a stoppage goal there.
I'd love to see the Giants, the Tigers be really aggressive at this forward 50 stoppage. They've got nothing to lose. Giants can't score.
They've opened it up a little bit, haven't they? Pulled back.
Right for Campbell, he's dangerous around goals. Ralph Smith, Briggs with a big fist. Body applied on Ash, and that'll do it. So Richmond led by 28 points at quarter time. They were inaccurate in the second term. The Giants kicked 2 goals to 1, but Richmond with a bevy of behind, 6 in fact. A lot of questions being asked by that man. We saw him reasonably fire at quarter time once he got for his team at the major break. Richmond leaded half-time at ENGIE, 7-11-53 over the Giants, 4-3-27 by 26 points at the main break.
All right, the commentators will be back for a little bit of wrap-up on the opening half here, but to tell you what, the Giants... Well, the Tigers are keeping the Giants in this game. 7-11-53, the Giants 4-3-27. The Tigers putting on 1 goal 6. 1 goal 6. Tell you what, you got to take your chances, Tigers, because if you don't, the Giants might just come back and bite you on the bum where it matters. There we go. 2 goals 2. The Giants only 7 scoring shots to 18. Tigers kick a little bit straighter. And this could be this margin could be out to 45 points. I'm happy Tigers fan from Ryan Avery Rogue 1. Hey, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. KN1, how you going? Ali, welcome in. Good to see a few new people in here, of course. Game board, L Sniper. How you going, bro? What's happening? Long time no see. Stephen, who you go for? I go for the Magpies, who are leading the ladder at the moment. Hey, by the way, let's go and have a look at the live ladder as it stands. Of course, top of the table, Collingwood. There we go. There's my team there. The Giants and Richmond. There we go. Let me just turn the live ladder off. 9th are the Giants. Played 11, 6 and 5, 109.9, 24 points. Equal with Western Bulldogs on 24 points, sitting in 8th. Of course, Freo won the game before this, so they jumped up to 7th on 28, a game clear of them to, of course, Richmond down here after playing 11 games. They won 3, lost 8, 12 points, so I turned the live ladder on. There we go. Giants still in 9th, Tigers still in 16th, but they'll go to 16 points level. And only, look at that, only 2 games outside of the top 8 if Richmond win this. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Good on you, Richmond. I like the way Richmond playing. For me, they're still in control of this game. I think the Giants haven't had any momentum, any forward pressure at all at the moment. It's just all the Tigers. They're putting the pressure. They're just doing, they're playing their game plan is working out well, and each player's playing their role really well for Richmond. That's why they are in front. As I said, the Giants seem like they were still on the bus at quarter time. They're still like, it looks like the doors haven't yet opened on the bus for the Giants, but I'm sure at some stage, you'd be expecting a team like the Giants to sort of come back at some stage throughout the game. And this is where it's totally important that Richmond take advantage and kick those goals when they have the opportunity, because when the Giants get on a roll, it's pretty hard to score against them. So Richmond, come on, kick a little bit straighter. Get that ball through the big sticks. Let's just have a look at the goal scorers. Tim Taranto, the only multiple out there for Richmond, with 2. Prestia, Lynch, Hopper, Steely Green, John Full, the singles for the Tigers. And, of course, for the Giants, Toby Green, come up with a beautiful snap. Tom Green, Callum Brown, Cody and Grove, disposal getters out on the ground. Jacob Hopper, he's having a cracking A cracking first opening half on 17, 8 kicks, 9 handballs, 8 clearances. He's kicked a goal. Lockie Ash, a bit better quarter from him, up to 17, 16 and 1 clearance. All right, let's just go back to the commentators for a moment, then we'll come back to the stats.
Hoppel one way, then the other, and 50. Now the only goal on the turn for the Tigers, but it is good news for Tigers fans. They lead it at the major break, 7:11:53 to the Giants 4:3:27. Welcome back to Super Saturday, brought to you by the Toyota Tundra. Remarkable power, undeniable presence. Time now to have a look at the host plus performance of the first half. And if it's not Hopper, that's his mate Taranto, formerly of the Giants, both of them.
Well, you can basically throw a blanket over the entire Richmond midfield. They have been dominant. The Tim Taranto's certainly been at the top of the tree. 15 possessions, 9 of them contested. And when you can throw in a couple of goals, and this is what turns a good game into a great game. Is when you start using the ball well, start hitting the ball.
And what I've loved about the balance with he and Hopper, so Hopper's winning it on the inside. He's had 8 clearances.
Yeah.
Taranto's had 8 ground balls post clearance. So in general play, ones like that have been really important for the Richmond offence and their field position in this first half. So we mentioned pre-game, a lot relies on their leaders. I think their leaders have been fantastic for the majority of the season. And once again, you can see the names.
That's the midfield. That's the Richmond midfield right there.
Yeah, just to emphasise on what their midfield are doing at the moment. The last 2 weeks, we spoke about it earlier, they were minus 43 clearances over the last 2 weeks. Absolutely horrific numbers. But today already plus 9, already at half. So that's just been a big turnaround, hasn't it? As you said, we just looked at those midfield numbers and those midfield players. They're the ones that really got on top. Hopper and Prestia in particular have 12 clearances between them. That's where the game is won and lost generally, Joey, as you know, through that midfield. So that's been a massive improvement. We spoke to Adam Muse on the run out as well about the last 2 weeks, and that's the spot where they really needed to improve. So that is just a massive tick for Richmond. Well done on that one. And obviously the other big news down here at the moment, guys, is for anyone who's just listening in, is Cal Ward, who in the first quarter came off with a serious knee injury. Just have a look at the replay. He gets it bent back there, then straightens it as well, and then just coming in to make that tackle. And had a little bit of a moment with him not too long ago, and I think he's a realist and knows that that's more than likely going to be the end of his season. But fingers crossed it's not, but we all can see there the tears and the emotion with Lockie Whitfield coming in as well. So, yeah, fingers crossed for Cal Ward, but we'll see what happens, boys.
Cam, when you say you had a moment with him just briefly, did you have a word to him?
Had a quick word to him, gave him a hug, and just said hopefully all the best. But he said, oh, look, I'm a realist and I think I know what's going on. So fingers crossed so, but it's not. But I think we all seen this one plenty of times.
Okay, thanks to Cat Media. Hopefully Cal Ward is okay, but it doesn't look good. Right, up next, we need to talk to you on Super Saturday Live all about Freo, who went to the Gold Coast and knocked them off on their own patch. Halftime here, though, Richmond lead the Giants by 26 points.
All right, there we go. That was a little bit of a wrap up. Let's get back to some of these stats, folks. We're only 10 minutes out, I think 10 minutes, yeah, about 11, 12 minutes out from the bounce of the ball to the second half. It's going to be really fascinating to see if the Tigers can hang on here. Don Prestia, 16 touches, 1 goal, 4 clearances. He's been in and around at Tim Taranto likewise with 15, 2 goals, 8 kicks, 7 handballs. Doing fantastic. Hugo Rell Smith on 13. Tom Green there, 13 disposals there for the Giants. 7 and 6. He's had 1 clearance, 5 tackles, 1-1. Lockie Whitfield, he needs to lift a little bit for the Giants. Just the 11 touches at the moment. Just the 6 kicks, 5 handballs, 7 marks. He's had a couple of tackles. All right, let's keep rolling down. Harry Himmelberg, just a 10. I want to have a look where the big forward is in a moment to see his stats. I can't really see. I've noticed him touching the ball. Toby Nankervis, so good to see him back in the side for the Richmond, doing a good job there with 8 touches, 16 hitouts, a couple of clearances there. Jake Riccardi for the Giants on 7. Tom Lynch, there we go. Even though he's just had the 7 touches, 5 kicks, he's kicked a goal. Look, he puts a little bit more structure down the Tigers' forward line. Always like to see him down there. And of course, he sort of controls and guides that forward line really well. Tom Lynch gives him a little bit of direction down there, just what the youngsters certainly require down there, the Tiger players. All right, let's keep on rolling down. Nick Vlotston on 6. We've got quite a few down the bottom there with the Giants. They all need to lift. Jesse Hogan, they was just having a look for Jesse Hogan. Just 5 touches, 3 kicks, 2 handballs, 2 marks. Not yet hit the scoreboard. So the Giants, as we've seen them do with him, he's come into the game in the second half. So expect to see Jesse Hogan come into the game in the second half and put a couple of scores on the board for them. Toby Green also, after a fantastic game last week and the week before, he's just had the 5 touches, 2 kicks, 3 handballs. He's kicked a goal, but I tell you what, he needs to lift. I think he's had his head on the pillow for this opening half. Team stats, let's just have a little bit of a glance at there. We've got plus 28 disposals for the Tigers, doing very well. Plus 6 and plus 22 in the handballs. Inside 50s, Tigers doing a good job restraining the Giants to only 19 inside 50s for 7 scoring shots. Tigers, however, 32 inside 50s. Their season average 44. So they're getting more of the ball inside forward 50, which is pleasing to the eyes, pleasing to the fans to see that. A bit more attacking is Richmond in today's game. 32 inside 50s, 18 scoring shots. You gotta like that. It's going at 59.4% efficiency inside 50. That's fantastic there for the Tigers. Free kicks, I tell you what, the Giants, 3 kicks. 3 free kicks up until half time. That's not many, is it? They'll be going. Tell you what, I'm sure we'll get a Bronx roar when the Giants get a free kick next in the next quarter. 10 free kicks to Richmond, the away side. There we go. Well, it's going to happen. There we go. The Giants in the hitouts by 2. Clearances, Tigers doing the job here, though. Centre clearances, 12-23 by 11. Centre clearances doubling the Giants, 6-3. Stoppage clearances, well, the Tigers, unexpected, but that's a welcome sight. 17-9 stoppage clearances. They're just dominating in the clearances all around the ground are the Tigers. Contested possessions, Tigers, as I said, they're going harder at it, putting more pressure on. 82 contested to 53. There we go. Hardball gets uncontested, pretty similar. Turnovers, there we go. The Giants are turning it over a fair bit, whereas the Tigers, not really. They're hitting their targets. They're pretty clean, 26 under season average. So that shows you what type of game the Tigers are having. They're having a bit of a ring-a-ding-ding game today. The marks, well, the Giants have had more of it by 18, but marks inside 50, importantly. 7 to the Tigers, which is really good, hitting their targets, lowering their eyes, composing themselves, going in forward 50, which is great to see, just about on season average at 8.6. The Giants are only the 2. They need to lift in this game. This is where Jesse Hogan needs to come into his own and get his hands on that ball. If we have a look at the tackles, and I'm sure, well, there we go. Interesting. I thought Tigers would be on top in the tackles, but it's the Giants, 30-23. Very low tackle count for both teams. I'm sure they'll be looking to improve a little bit of pressure, even still 7-6 inside forward 50 tackles. So not too bad at all. All right, where are we? We are 7 minutes away. I'm not sure what they're. I think they're just talking about Super Saturday round 12. Some of the commentators. Tigers will win. Sky Todd. Well, look, I'm not going to write the Giants off just yet. We know the Giants are a pretty good team. And they can come back, that is for sure. Just remembering last week they had a good win against Carlton at the MCG, but a few of their stars, Toby Green is, well, he's asleep a little bit, and of course Jesse Hogan, their gun forward, hasn't put a score on the board at present. Certainly looking forward to those 2 players lifting, and I think if they can lift, and certainly Jesse Hogan, if he can get his hands on the ball, get into the game a little bit more, I think that could swing it a little bit. That'll give the Giants a touch more confidence, and they'll be definitely looking a little bit more dangerous going into the second half. Now, That being said, Richmond have had control of this game up until half time. Giants looking a little bit flat-footed. Richmond, you know, their team's doing everything right. They're doing all things right. The only thing we need to see from Richmond is to kick a little bit straighter. 7 goals, 11. That is the only worry for the Tigers. They're just kicking too many behinds when they should be slotting some of these as goals and getting this margin out to a margin where it's going to be hard for the Giants to chase down. Where this margin should have been, you know, probably 12 goals, 6, somewhere around there at 7 goals, 11. And of course, the Tigers, although playing fantastic football, they've still left the door ajar there for the Giants to get right back into this match. Of course, it's only 26 points the margin here at half time, and we know goals can be kicked pretty quick once a team gets a run on, and the Giants can run in waves and put on scores pretty quick. So we will see what happens in the second half, but it should be fantastic. Tigers win. Who do you think's going to win, Sky Todd? Hey, don't forget to vote. Who you think's going to win? Who you think's going to win? So far, we've got 64% saying Richmond Tigers are going to win this game. 36% say the Giants. There we go. I still don't know. You know what? I still don't know who's going to win this game. I know the margin's 26 points. I'm hoping for Richmond to win. I just like this young side. I think they're a side that's well, at the moment, they look like a humble side that goes about their work and does it well, even when they win. They celebrate just within themselves, and they're a happy team. They don't sort of give the opposition much lip and whatnot. So I like the Tigers. They're a very likable team. This young team, and I think they're well ahead in where most people thought they were going to be this time of year. Most people thought, you know, like they'd be the easy beats this year. They'd be lucky to win a game. But as we've shown, they've already won a few games this year. And if they can win today's game, they're only going to be 2 games out of the top 8, which is pretty exceptional with a little bit over half a season to go. Around 12 or about halfway through the season. So they've done fantastic, the Tigers. Whether this young team can continue through the second part of the season is yet to be seen. It's a long season, of course, for these young players, but they're doing fantastic so far. I think that's just one of the things where the Giants came out today. They thought we're just going to play the Tigers. It's just going to be, you know, it's just going to be a matter of turning up, playing a bit of footy. You know, it'll be a bit like a practice match. We'll get the job done easy. And it'll be an easy win for the Giants. But yeah, the Tigers had a different game plan in mind for the Giants this afternoon up here at ENGIE Stadium in Sydney. They thought, no, this is our game to win. If you want to beat us, you need to play at your best to come and tackle the Tiger Army and take the game off of us up here. But should be fantastic. We've got the ever supportive Ryan. Thanks, Ryan, for the super chat. Appreciate that, bro. Shine now. Look, we hope the Tigers win for Ryan today. He's always in supporting every football team, and everyone loves the footy. Big footy fan like everyone here. So good to see. Tigers doing well for Ryan out there today. All right, we're going to be back in just a moment, folks. We're just over a minute away before the bounce of the ball for the second half, where the Tigers lead by 26 points. We'll be back in just a moment, and the commentators return.
missed one of his best mates in the crowd, who's pretty happy with what he's seen. And the GWS Giants, they do dig deep. They do it for that man, the greatest Giant of all time, in his milestone game.
Brilliantly called and a brilliant game last week from Toby Green in the win over the Blues. 28 disposals, hit the scoreboard as well with 3 majors. Today, though, in the first half, he has kicked a goal, but he's only had 5 disposals. So he is one of the Giants that really need to get rolling.
He certainly does, Howie. They need a big second half from their inspirational skipper. I'm sure he would like more support from a few of his teammates to get to work, particularly the ruckman, Kieran Briggs. He's yet to touch the footy. Look at Nan Curvis, 70 outs to advantage. He's had 8 disposals, a couple of intercept marks, 4 score involvements. Briggs with duck eggs everywhere. So starts with the big man in the middle.
Inaccuracy has played the Tigers 1 goal 6 in the second term. 26-point margin. Hopper has been outstanding alongside Taranto to get the opening 2 possessions. Send it forward towards Fall. Ash, one of the Giants' best. Screws it out of defence, but only as far. Oz Trainer drops one straight off the chest. Then backed off him, presuming he was going to take the mark. Spirals it forward. Fall does well to compete. And that is a good finish. Sonzi, what a start for the yellow and black.
Well, normal service has been resumed. They dominated early in the game. Clearances, scores from stoppage, ground balls, particularly inside 50. The first 2 inside 50 kicks were floaters. But you get a good competition in there. I think it was Johnny Fall who went back with the flight and brought it to ground, and then they were able to jump onto the loose ball, and Sonsi kicks the goal. They just look so dangerous as soon as the ball hits the deck, but getting that good competitive contest in the air.
Having a really good game, Tyler Sonsi. You know he's a talent. He's got all the skills. He's probably working on that professionalism, the work rate of what it takes. He's sort of had to play a lot of VFL footy. He's that fringe sort of player in their team. But he's made the most of his chances today, coming into the side. 12 disposals, 1 goal, 1.
Second goal of this game of the season and second goal for Sonzi. Talking to the umpire saying he grabbed my arm. What I'm doing.
I don't normally make a decision because of that habit.
No. It's the strongest argument we've heard. Giants, nicely picked up by the athletic Brown. Wheels around on his right from outside. Brown with a quick response. Post.
He's good to pick up a turn. He's a little proppy after that. Let's hope he's okay. They need his athleticism in the second half.
Sandbank saw 15 games last year. I think he's 11th in 2025. Towards Lynch. Stands above the pack. Brings us in a bit of a skirmish on the ground. Whitfield. By hand. Taylor kicking in a hurry, working out effectively. Riccardi took the mark and caught one for his trouble.
Well, good forward craft. A step in front. When the quick kick comes in, you first react, you get first crack at the mark. Showed a good pair of hands. And the Giants desperately need this. They've got to get themselves up and running. I mean, Richmond's effort, they're not going to drop off. They're having a red-hot crack. They're enjoying themselves. They like the way they're playing. They're going to give it their best. Giants have got to lift.
26-12 last year, 9-2 this season. Make that 10-2. Great finish, Riccardi.
They've been pretty solid this year, Riccardi. He's gone about it, getting the second ruck duties. It's helped with his competitiveness. You know, he can take a good contested mark. They're just getting organised behind the ball here, Richmond. They're just a little bit slow to get set up. Campbell Gray just caught on his heels momentarily. And as Jake said, Riccardi, the natural forward, was just quicker to react to the kick coming in.
So they've got Brown with a goal. They've got Riccardi with a goal. And they need these players to have an impact. Jesse Hogan hasn't been cited. He's had the 5 possessions. Hasn't hit the scoreboard as yet. Probably expected him to have a bigger impact against the Tigers, but they need to share the load. They need everyone to get busy in the second half, the Giants.
Goal apiece to open the second half. The 25-point margin. Green in the middle. Alongside Tom and Toby. Balls it forward. Hasn't been Hogan's day so far. Look at the pickup though from Brown. Doesn't get the purchase.
See the speed. He ran away from the opponent who was hot on his heels. That was impressive. He's an athlete, isn't he?
Well, there's talk between him and Darcy Jones, who's the quickest at the club, but that actually extends to who's the quickest in the AFL.
Yep.
Those two are right up there.
Yeah, Nathan Broad could go with him.
Brown, little slider out of defence. Toby Green looking to lift his side. And passes to space. Boston. Caught with the footy. Sonzi rides the tackle and takes it to the deck.
Strange option for Josh Kelly. That's a man that's missed a bit of footy. Didn't quite know what was happening around him. Should have marked the ball. Decided to double fist it. But a chance to lock it in here now, the Giants.
Taranto and Hopper playing against their old side.
They've played 114 games for the GWS Giants. They're having a good afternoon. They did last time they played too, last year, and won a lot of footy, but the Giants came out on top. See if they can reverse the result here.
With the hands of Kelly. Sonzi. A deep ball forward. Lynch provides the spoil from behind. To have the contest with Taylor, who whips it out to Iden. Oh, gee, the ball hung. It was a good option in the end. To Toby Green. Decent ball forward. Now they've got some run. Bedford screaming through the middle of ENGIE Stadium. Wobbles it inside. 50. But Banks back with the fly. Hogan could have steamrolled into him. It was the correct play.
Great courage from Banks.
Mansell plays on. He's got the overlapping hand pass. Campbell takes a bounce. He's a wonderful finisher. Is Campbell. Takes something off the kick to fall. Really well thought out.
That's a brilliant decision. A brilliant decision. He could have been excused for setting sail for goals. But in the end, he drew the player up and he chipped over the top. Really classy decision.
Now, he's one of the best inside 50 kicks in the competition. Seth Campbell, he assesses the options, takes his time, and he's got the class. He's having a sensational year. Now it's up to the youngster to finish.
Kicked a goal in the first term. Did Jonty. Missed many opportunities, and there's another one. And you just figure at some stage these could come back and haunt the Tigers. 1 goal, 6 in the second term. And a bad miss.
Geez, he fell into the lazy Susan there, Chief.
Yeah, if they get beaten today, the Tigers, they will rue these misses. And that will be the reason they get beaten. Because they could have a commanding lead.
Ash takes on his corresponding number 7. Buckley, strong mark. The lazy Susan.
Oh, it was just a big lean back on that one, wasn't it?
Good fist coming from Miller. Cadman approaches for the second time. Hand pass misses the target. Whip back to Ash. One of the Giants better. Tom Green. Iden. To Alir on the spread. Steely Green's going to have his work cut out here. Alir keeps it in front of himself. Good pick up Himmelberg. They're building down the outer side. Whip back by Jones. Alir keeps his feet. Does Alir through it. Across to McMullen. Here's the important ball to the top of the square. Big fly behind from Ango. Kicked his first goal earlier on. Broad stays down with experience. Good exit ball.
There's the wingman pushing down Ango.
He had the set too. He had the set.
It's Ollie Dempsey's specialty now, and some other clubs joining in, and Ango could have had the chance.
Sims, nice ball. Ralph Smith put one arm up. Ash doing a brilliant job in defence. Fonte. Green. Looks to the corridor. The option is there, and the option is taken to Brown, who's having a good turn. Bit of slip and slide work back to Ango. Open 50 by hand. Just misses Thomas on the overlap. And Richmond live to fight another day. Vlosten. High ball to the wing. Buckley. 2 bites. Now Fonte. Overlap hand. Ango. Back to Fonte, the number 37. Opens it up for Broad, though. They've missed a couple of opportunities going forward there, the Giants.
Yeah, couldn't have picked the loose man out better if he tried, unfortunately, for the Giants.
They're not finishing their plays yet, but the game, the way this third quarter started, it's suiting the Giants now.
It's opened up, Joey. They're finding space. They're able to play and attack through the corridor.
You can still see the underground is very damp still from a lot of weather up here, and it's starting to get a little bit dewy as well.
Now Mooney down on the boundary. Green applies the tackle. Alir. It's a nice intercept marks. Bedford, Tom Green. Deep ball is really good. Coming back, taking the mark. Having a good turn is Riccardi.
You can feel the tight turn, Joey, can't you?
Yeah, you can. You're starting to feel the Giants looking to use the corridor a little bit more. That first half, it was Richmond that dominated in the corridor.
2 in a row for Riccardi. And for the first time all evening, the Giants have got some momentum.
So the Tigers were plus 32 for possessions through the corridor, which is normally the Giants' specialty. We've seen a couple of passages now, the Bunnings build up. Here, you can see it. They wanted to just change angles a little bit more. They're just going to get caught playing straight line footy. So it was Bedford here, locking in board, and Tom Green turning in. And then that's how you get the deep entry with an angle on it. And caught Richmond defenders off guard and been protecting that skinny side all game. Good adjustment from Adam Kingston, the Giants.
9-3, the inside 50s in favour of the Giants early in the third term. So territory is going to tell. If they get enough opportunities, they look like they can get back in this game.
And Bedford's starting to do a job on Taranto now, guys. He's up to 16, but he had 11 in that first quarter where he's so damaging.
26 half-point half-time margins being whittled back to 19 points. Clearance out of the middle, float to a dangerous area. Lynch picks it up, throws a boot on it. Mansell will provide pressure on Fonte, brings him to ground. Buckley's there for support. Edges it out of defence. Ralph Smith back with the flight. Calls to Thomas. Little step to create a bit of space. And again, now forced to spiral one down the wing. Miller with the hands. Jesse Hogan, sorry, just 5 disposals for Hogan. As the Tigers go deep once again. Alier, acrobatic, falls by hand, and Steely Green accepts the present. And the Tigers once again get the reply.
See, that looked dangerous. Every time the ball hits the ground, I thought Sims had been too unselfish by giving the hand pass and perhaps should have kicked the goal himself, but in the end, he passes off to the agile, small, and Steely Green, sorry. And he kicks the goal, but every time it hits the deck, that head Smalls looking to get involved. It's a big man that crumbs, but he's got plenty of support.
It was a generous hand pass.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
As I said, I thought he should have kicked the goal.
These ground balls inside forward 50 for Richmond, so they've had 16. The Giants have had 12 in the same zone. So if you break even in a game, it's a great result. Richmond to be +4 is significant. It shows they're able to get numbers there. That slow play helps them, allows their small forwards to get the work, but it's been a real threat the Giants haven't been able to handle.
Cardi sets himself to take on Nankervis. That is a big task to be won. Again, the Tigers with another centre clearance on the stretch is Lynch.
Well, that is a beautiful kick inside 50. It's not often to see Sam Taylor getting beaten.
And they're getting very lippy down here at the moment.
There's no need for that, is there, Moons? You don't want to start doing that.
Annoying small forwards, Joey. They can't help it. It happens across the board in this league, let me tell you. And that time it was Ryan Mansell getting in the face of Sam Taylor. You don't need to be doing that. Just accept you got a beautiful kick inside 50. Great mark from Lynch and a shot for goal.
It was McCall that hit Lynch up on the lead. The 2 in the space of a minute for the Tigers to really extend this margin. Started left, draws back though, and Richmond go bang bang and take it out to a 31-point margin.
Now, that was a big kick, Jason. I think the importance of that kick shouldn't be underestimated because we've spoken about Richmond's set shots. They've kicked 3 goals, 9 from that zone, that sort of 30 to 50 metre zone for this game. The youngsters have missed some gettable chances, so to have your senior player, your leader, be able to go back and finish, I think that does wonders for this group. Instead of the, roll the eyes and, we've missed another opportunity, they now have real belief out to 31 points that everything they've been doing, they can continue to reinforce and keep playing the way that they have been. A lot of ball for Tom Lynch, but significant impact. Just his presence in this forward line makes a difference to this Richmond team.
Equal game high margin of 31 points, 26 at half time, 28 at quarter time. And Another centre clearance for the Tigers. They're dominating in there. Banks. Slick hands. Another opportunity for the Tigers. Deep to the square. It was Trainer who had the flying shot.
Yeah, it was exciting, yeah. Banks started charging off the back of the square at half back. Trainer following him in. And again, the mids continuing to win centre clearances, giving them field position.
Midfield shapes one way and ducks back the other. And 246 for Lockie. Let the Giants spoil each other. It's that type of night. Smith can't get through.
Josh, Jake, here.
High up and under from Prestia on the belly of the ball. That is Durant.
He just wanted it all. Yeah, it sums up this game. I was thinking that who's going to go after this. It just sums up the Tigers. All game have wanted it more.
By hand to Banks, who unloads from 70 out, right to the teeth of goal. Lynch flies.
It's not always the best kick inside 50, kicking it as far as you can.
Is he having a shot?
Yeah, I think he was. And it's ridiculous, but the ball goes too close to the goals. It's too easy to go through. That's a fantastic contested game. He just committed. He saw it up in the air. He looked around. He said, well, I've got no teammates here, so I'll make it mine.
It's just fell to ground after that mark contest, but popped straight back up. Joey Fonte runs his measure. This man has had an impressive game, hasn't he?
Stood tall. He's been excellent.
Sims to Ross. Another inside 50 by the Tigers in dominant form again. Falls to the ground. Tackle immediately applied by Fonte on the green.
It's a great tackle from Fonte because the crumb was elite. That would have been another goal. It's a goal-saving tackle. Yeah, Fonte.
Tigers pressing again. They've kicked the last two. Taranto. Buckley needs to get rid of it. Must have known it wasn't the distance. Kelly exiting the defensive zone. Ralph Smith tried to get the hands out. A couple of Tigers fight with each other. One is Campbell Gray. Comes back again. Prestia. Squeezes it in more to McAuliffe.
A great contest win, and then once again, great composure from Prestia to find a target.
And McAuliffe goes to Broad. Giants stay off him.
So they've played all game. They're happy just to be patient. They've got a lot of numbers inside forward 50. We'll go to the contest and see if their smalls can get to work.
Caleb Smith does just that. Looking towards Lynch. They fall over like 9 pins. Fonte's hand pass a little bit too much on it. He was trying to claim it ambitiously.
Just see how nervous though the Giants defenders are, Jason, aren't they? They know anytime they get possession inside their defensive 50 that there are Tigers players coming at them.
He looked like he got a decent shot, Lynch, out of that last one.
Leah. Whitfield. Takes ground. Brought in good position. Nicely crumbed by Jones. Just too much on it. McMullen. McAuliffe needs to get rid of it. Goes back into the corridor. Dangerous. Here comes Jones by hand. Couple of turnovers. Taranto. 20th possession.
Gee, that's a good kick under pressure. He didn't have many options. It had to be perfect, and it was. Just to buy the Tigers a little bit of time.
Makes up to his 20th, Joe. He's been good.
Yeah. Relishing his new role without Jaden Short in the team.
He's done a fine job on Hogan. Just 5 disposals and hasn't had a scoring opportunity yet, Jesse. The contested marks, but they're up on the wing. Ross waits for his teammates to sweep up ahead of him. Really landed in the hands of Aaliyah. He was as surprised as anyone. Green again towards the dangerous Campbell. Just missed Mansell. Comes back to Mansell. Swamped by a couple of Giants. Whitfield. Teammates under pressure. Iden bursts his way through. Does well. Himmelberg. Low ball to the wing. Miller in front of Hogan again. And they'll be happy to see the line.
Gee, that's exactly their MO, wasn't it? That play, keep it skinny, kick to a contest. The Smalls were charging and they were out. Three of
them, and they just couldn't handle it cleanly.
Couldn't quite finish. They've been deadly this quarter. 11 entries. They've scored 7 times. Again, Richmond just haven't been able to finish their work. 3 goals for 4.
The man Steely Green sniffs a goal. He hits top speed. Riccardi, 2 hands. Green waits out the back. Ralph Smith off the ground. Prestia rise the tackle.
Possessions now, Dion Prestia and a goal. First game for the season. What an impact to make first up.
Has done so alongside Lee Montagna and Cam Mooney.
He played the 1 VFL game as well this year, Prestia.
Ralph Smith, back by hand to that man Prestia. Short down the line, Aaliyah, and the better defenders in orange this afternoon. Green to Brown.
They have to journey Himmelberg at his very best.
You just heard the umpire there. He said he's got this in him, so give him the 30. So that's the umpire's awareness over who's a long kick and who's not.
He kicked the goal this season. He's a long way out. In the end, drops it to the top of the square. Miller with the spoil. Brown involved. Hands and knees. Ralph Smith came to him a little bit quickly. Does really well though, Hugo. Then spins it out to the wing. A couple of Giants will track back, including Joe Fonte.
Yeah, they can't go too quick, Richmond, when they do win possession because they all roll back. Almost 16, 17 of them get back in defensive 50, so they just need to find an uncontested mark and play their build-up game. Again, really protecting the corridor here, Richmond. They're happy to let Giants go wide, but they don't want them to come back in the corridor. You can see the Tigers' numbers in the square.
Right, sides to Ash. And the second disposal leads the Giants to Lockie. Switches on. And further out the flank. Whitfield trying to make him work for it. We'll give up a bit of ground to Himmelberg. Gives Ross a chance to come across and provide coverage. Big fly, Cadman. He took a hanger earlier on and there was a hold against one of his teammates, so he didn't get the resulting shot, but he does now.
When he gets the ability to run and jump the footy without any impediments, he doesn't have a body on body. He's capable of some really good things.
Number 1 pick back in 2022.
This comes from left of screen, sets himself, no body on him.
Third most goals for the Giants last year, behind Hogan and Green. He's kicked 13 majors this season. Cadman gets his first of the afternoon.
An important goal. He felt if one went the other way, it got out to 40 points late in the third. Pretty hard for the Giants, but to be able to not concede and get one back, and now he's still a manageable 28 points with some time to go in this third quarter. I'd like to get your thoughts, Jason, on Cadman. I mean, he's playing game number 47 today. He still hasn't really had a breakout game. He's always showed glimpses he can take a mark and kick a goal, but he's never kicked more than sort of 3 in a game. Always a low possession player. Have you seen enough to be confident that he's going to break out?
As we have a look back, if you're just joining us, that was a knee issue for Carl Ward in the first term. Hand up, acknowledge the crowd, got some love from some teammates, including Lockie Whitfield.
Yeah, I think that tells everything you need to know, doesn't it? That might be the end, unfortunately, this year at least, if not career-wise for Callum Ward, who's been absolutely brilliant for the Giants.
Thanks, it's Campbell. We'll get back to Cadman momentarily. Campbell plays on in the bright orange boots. Another opportunity for the Tigers deep forward. Spoil's not effective, doesn't kill it. Cadman?
Well, I think at the moment he's not imposing himself physically. There's a flop. That's a flop from Johnny that he won't look back at too fondly, I don't think. He needs to impose himself more physically. When he can run and jump like that and he doesn't have a body on body, I think he's brilliant. He's not going to get that too often. He's got to learn to use his body better. But he certainly has enormous promise. I mean, they take a while to develop key position plays.
Tigers pressing to answer the Cadman goal. Tom Green. Screwed out of defence. And Boston is made to earn every part of that mark.
Hardly seen Boston today. It hasn't really been needed. The way that the Tigers have controlled the game. Just his first intercept mark. One of the best interceptors in the competition this year. He's been outstanding.
Ball to Banks. Casually sent it forward to Lynch. Not easy to outmark Taylor, and Lynch lets him know about it as well.
There's a bit going on in that battle. It's a personal one-on-one. Sam Taylor doesn't lower his colours too often, and I'm not suggesting they've been lowered today, but he doesn't lose many one-on-one battles.
Hardly loses any.
And that's a couple that Lynch has won, and he's happy to tell him about it.
I think he came into the weekend losing one-on-one battle. And now he's lost 2 1/4.
Yep.
Can he match the kick that he produced a little earlier?
He's kicked 2 Lynch. This is a big moment in the game. This is to really hurt the Giants directly in front and the story of the night in front of goals for the Tigers.
10-16. Adam Uze, he'd be wondering what if this game could be over if it was 16-10. And they've been very, very kickable opportunities that have gone begging.
Ball remains open for the Giants. Still holding a 29-point margin,
To be
though.
fair, though, there's nothing in the game to suggest that
No.
Richmond are going to give up this lead other than we just feel because of the expectations of the two sides. But if you just went purely on this game, Richmond are still in control.
Is there anything Adam Kingsley can do?
Boston inside to Buckley.
Well, they can just play it more dare. They can take the game on more. We know they've got that in them. They'll take risks at handball and run like this.
Iden, Ash. Riggs, back to Iden. Tom Green, Ash. Good from the Giants. Gets important now. McMullen turns it over.
So
There's a slight bit of pressure.
Now, there's the risk and reward. If they get through, they're getting good looks, but they can give you a look the other way.
Ross looks for Campbell, who does well to gather it in, keeps it in. Ford progresses it forward with a winder inside. Just too much on it. Green was backing back and it just went over his head. He's a 6-footer and he needed a Mason Cox top.
Another opportunity goes begging. That would have been a set shot. 25 out directly in front.
And that's what we're talking about with GWS. That's the way they're going to have to play. They're going to have to take the game on from half back. It might come off a couple of times, but if Richmond keep their pressure up, keep coming forward, cut off that handball, they'll still get good looks going back inside their forward line.
It's a good edged opportunity again, goes begging.
Straight out this way, guys. Thank you.
Hard frame of Tom Green. O'Halloran. To come back the other way. Hogan, a rare sighting. Miller streaks back. Jones wants it deep with the speed.
That's what he wanted. Just kick it to grass out in front. Kick it over the top and his pace would have won.
McMullen sends it into the pocket. Might win out again. Riccardi, a couple of goals for the turn. Ross desperate in defence.
I'd like that again, Jesse Hogan, wouldn't he? Just back in.
Oh, you'd have to make Darcy Jones
Yeah,
race, wouldn't you?
was. We spoke about he's one of the quickest in the competition. Just had to put it out in front of him and let him go to work.
He was streaking forward, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Briggs, Hogan. One afternoon so far. Ross bangs it out of defence. Couple of Giants compete. And Kelly.
Half a metre forward. Play on.
12th disposal back in the side. Beautiful left foot ball. Brilliant.
Yeah, but he's pretty cool to kick that, and it's gone 2 metres from the goal. I'd love to see a player of his quality and class to just trust himself to kick the goal.
Either commit to the shot or pull it 10 or 15 metres short of goal.
3 goals apiece for the turn. Richmond by 26 at half time. Eked it out to a 28-point margin. Boston's giving the rockstar sign of the horns. Not sure what that means. 4 impacts the contest in the air. Still time for the Giants at Ash. Minute on the clock exactly. Miles out on the full.
Yeah, that last kick out, you Boston actually step out of the square. And until the player came, he wasn't going to kick it. He was just happy to run the clock down.
Yeah, but I don't know if the clock did run down. I think the timekeeper may have missed it. I was looking at the time. It was staying on 108, so...
Well, that would be a mistake. He was happy to buy a bit of time.
Yeah, it was smart from Boston.
50 on the clock. And the Tigers would love to go in. 28 to the good. Prestia. Calm.
They should just milk the corner from here, the Tigers. They don't want to concede one late. Got to be careful.
Brown held up for a long time, but spotted Jonty fall.
You can see a few others ahead just saying, calm it down. We know what's on the clock.
Lee Howie, not one free kick has been paid this quarter. There you go. Oh, random stat. Thought you'd like that one.
Oh, they missed it. Good mark by Big Briggsy to Ash. The Tigers will take the turn though. Won up by 2 points. Looking at potentially one of the boilovers of the season. Richmond by 28 at quarter time, 26 at half time. And at the final break, 10-16. That's their only issue. The Tigers 76, the Giants 76-48. Richmond up by 28 points in sight. The 4th win of the season.
Well, folks, there we go, 3/4 time. Did they just say there were no free kicks paid in that third term? Wow. I can't ever remember a free kick not being given in a quarter of football. 10-16, 76, the Tigers. Giants 7-6, 48. Whew. Tell you what, what's the margin there? 28 points. The Tigers, of course, the Giants putting on 3 goals, 3 in that third term. The Tigers... 3 goals, 5. Continue to kick a little bit wobbly. That's 4 goals, 11. The Tigers have put on in the last 2 quarters to 5 goals, 5. And it's a lot of behinds, as I was saying in the call. Could well have been 16-10, and this game would have been put to bed. It would have been yibbity, that's all, folks. But, of course, with a 28-point margin to the Tigers... As I was saying, there's no reason that we're seeing out there at the moment that the Giants are going to make that comeback like they can and threaten the Tigers. But 28 points, it's a margin that's quite gettable in a quarter of football. It looks like conditions out there are pretty good at the moment. So the Giants, well, they just need to pull out one of their big quarters, big comebacks. But for mine, well, it's a little bit hard to see Richmond toppling at this part of the game, but you never know. The Tigers still looking good. It's just a little bit skew off the boot, and this margin could be out to 50 points, 10 goals. There we go. We'll see what happens in the final quarter. All right, let's just bob on over there. Let's have a look at the players' stats, the goal scorers, see what's changed in the goal scorers and who's got them. Tim Taranto still on 2. Tom Lynch is now up to 2 with Steely Green for the Tigers. Sonsei, Prestia, Hopper, Full, and that is it. Single goal scorers there for the Tigers. For the Giants, it's Jake Riccardi on 2, only multiple. Toby Green still the 1. Tom Green, the 1. The first goal scorer of the game, of course, Tom Green. Cadman bobbed up with 1 there. Brown got 1, and Angrove got a single there for the GWS Giants. So look at the disposal getters out in the ground. Lucky Ash leads away there for the Giants on 26, 21 kicks, 5 handballs for the Tigers. Dion Prestia tops the table there with 24, 12 and 12, 6 clearances, 1 goal, 1. He's having a ripper game. Sam Banks next best on 22. Jacob Hopper a little bit quieter in that third term. He's on the 21. Tom Green up to 20. Lockie Whitfield up to 18. Got to get him into the game. Of course, Jesse Hogan still, I think, untroubling the scoreboard there. And Toby Green, well, I'm not sure where he's got to. I'm pretty sure he's still on the ground. Toby Green, well, he's still on the ground. He's on 10 possessions. We'll come down there in a moment and just have a look. These teams you just don't lose to. If you consider yourself a premiership contender and one of them Richmond Giants are pathetic. Yeah, exactly right. I tell you what, you just wouldn't expect this. This is probably the boil over of, well, you know, it could be the boil over of the season since the Giants have been in good form. Home game, you just would not have expected this result. That being said, especially after three-quarter time, I mean, the game's not over yet. We know Richmond's doing everything well. I just want to have a look at that free kick count. The free kick count, no free kicks given in that third term. Only 3 free kicks the Giants have had for three-quarters of the game, 10 for Richmond. Wow, that's not much, is it? Tara, look at how you going. Welcome in. She said hi. And that's it. You just wouldn't expect this. If we have a little bit of a look at the live ladder, the Giants are here in 9th position. This is their 12th match. They've won 6, lost 6. They needed to win this one, and they were expected to win this one, and they would have jumped back up into the top 8. They would have jumped back up into, at least 7th position, maybe 6 if they had a good percentage booster over Richmond. And they didn't need to have that big of a win to jump up into 6. But I'll tell you what, that's if they lose today, this is one big loss. The Giants will certainly look back on. It could be at the end of the season. You'd hate to think this had cost them a spot in the finals, losing a game like this to Richmond, who sit down there in 16th at the moment. If they end up winning, they'll be on 16 points, only 2 games out of the top 8. So there we go. It's a funny old season. Anything could happen. Look, the good teams, they all put in a bad one. Maybe this is the Giants' bad game because they, let's just face it, this isn't the Giants that we have come to know. That is for sure. No pressure at all from the Giants. It's just a lackluster effort so far for three-quarters. Ward is there amongst the players trying to give his team a rev up. Of course, Callum Ward went out with injury. Looks like season-ending injury for him. He's on the crutches. He's giving his team a bit of a pep talk at three-quarter time, trying to rev it up. Say, come on, boys, get this job done for me. Don't let me injure myself out for the season for nothing. Pull your act together. So he gave them a bit of a pep talk. Live ladder, please. Look, that's it. Looks good. Freo, 7th. There we go. Played 12, 7 wins, 5 losses, 106.4. Can you believe it? They're only a game out of, they're equal now, Addy G. They're equal in 4th position, even though they're sitting 7. All right, that's enough for me. Let's get back down to the ground for the bounce of the ball for the final quarter, where it's the Tigers by 28 points.
Pretty emotional right now, but gave the last speech there. What was that about?
Yeah, kickers put it on me late. Just about playing our role, being reliable. A few different things we're not doing that well at the moment.
How are you feeling, mate? What's the diagnosis at the moment?
I'm not sure officially yet, but it feels like a bad one, like ACL. Initially probably in shock, but now I'm feeling alright. There's a lot worse going on than me. It's hurting my knee, so.
Was it in the marking contest or when the ball hit the ground you went for the tackle?
Yeah, in the tackle. Yeah, just a change of direction, like a typical ACL.
So on behalf of the footy world, maybe I'll hope it's not that, but all the best, mate. Thanks very much.
Brilliant stuff from Cal Ward, champion of the game. And his team, can they lift on the back of his words? Green can't get it over the top of Hopper, who's been absolutely enormous for his team. They swoop in through another man who's been brilliant. Taranto whipped out to Ash. Buckley. Now Iden. So initial shot for Ward that he said was worse things than me doing my knee. Tom Green to Kelly. Here's an opportunity for the Giants to kick the first. And it's well directed to big Kieran Briggs.
So it's not the first time he's pushed forward into space, but it's the first time he's been recognised. Josh Kelly able to find the kick. He mentioned he needed to lift Joey, hadn't touched the ball basically for 3 quarters. Or at least 2.5 quarters. Now he gets a chance to kick a much-needed goal. This might be something that can spark a revival from the Giants.
11 career goals, 1 for the season. The big number 32. He hits it nicely, and that's something for the Giants to build on.
His only other goal was the goal last week where he kicked it out of midair from the goal square in a rough contest. He has been inaccurate in the past, but tell you what, Jace, just visually, I'm going to wonder about the Tigers and whether there's some fatigue setting in. And just a little indicator, they had 35 tackles in the first half, only 5 in that third quarter. Just watching the way that Lockie Ash was able to run down the wing and how easy this bit of play was. Watching some of the Tigers behind this, they've just got to have it in them to dig in, because there will be some tired boys. They've given so much, but there just may be some fatigue creeping in.
Yeah, definitely a few Giants running free there, and if they get on a roll, that margin could disappear quickly. They need to just focus on the next stoppage. Tigers, get back to business, get back to what they've done so well for 3 quarters.
Hopper and Taranto, the 2 prime movers are in there. Hopper with 22 disposals, Taranto 21, Prestia 24. Tom Green rides the tackle from Nankervis. Bedford caught it 2 ways. First Prestia, then Nankervis arrives with some body pressure. Here's Hopper. Prime mover, we just mentioned, just too much on it. Get an opportunity.
That's leadership, isn't it, from Prestia? To stick that tackle, there's a slight bit of momentum. They win a centre clearance, who knows, but just to be able to pin Toby Bedford in and win the free kick.
Most important thing for the Tigers right now, I think, is to keep attacking. Keep doing what you've been doing for the 3 quarters. Don't start thinking about slowing things down and just playing out the last quarter in the status quo. Keep attacking.
Iden. Tom Green. Ralph Smith can't keep the ball in the field of play.
Keep up the intensity of pressure, the tackling. It's all been brilliant. But you've got to do it for 4 quarters to win games.
Tom Green starting to lift too for GWS, 7 disposals, 3 clearances in that third quarter. Already had a handful of touches early in the fourth.
Ralph Smith spirals it forward.
Make sure they continue to protect the corridor here, the Tigers. Force Taylor down the skinny side of the ground, keep them hemmed in, because no doubt the Giants will be looking to be more aggressive and take some calculated risk in this last quarter.
Kelly looking to the middle of the ground. There's nothing there. As Lee said, forced along the skinny side. Cadman, Riggs.
That's what he probably should have marked. Aaron Cadman had to run it, the footy got the hands to it. But he's got to play a role in this last term as well.
Riggs, big knack, slaps it forward. O'Halloran. Nicely picked up on the run by McAuliffe. Opportunity for Hopper. Sends it forward. Elevating himself above the pack was Lynch. Comes back to apply a tackle. Ash held on to it for a long time. Iden got one high. Umpire says play on McIntosh. The sub's been activated. Trainer's been subbed out of the game. Broad screws it into the pocket.
Big pressure. The last time it went down deep into their forward line, there was a number of rushed hand passes from the Giants. They were besieged by tacklers every single time, and it was just a quick dump kick out. But to maintain the intensity, these young Tigers.
It's okay. Thank you. Kieran, Toby, out behind.
Midfield receives it from McMullen. And just running underneath it was Darcy Jones. Rides back in defence. Ross punches it forward to McIntosh. They get it back to McIntosh just on the ground from 40 out. Another missed opportunity for the Tigers. There's been many. 10-17.
I think he's going to have a key role too, Camden McIntosh, another one of these experienced Tigers. He's fresh as the sub.
Yeah, we know how he can run, how he can work, but another opportunity goes begging.
Really should be 6-7 goals up, if not more. Himmelberg didn't expect to receive back. Takes on Curvis. Good luck with that. Got one high, so he'll get the free.
Finally, I think it's their second free kick since the first quarter. And you can see them now wanting to go through the corridor.
It's exactly what they do with a piercing ball.
The Briggs looking to push forward at every opportunity.
Sends it to a big contest. Miller with the fist. Prestia. What a game back he's had, Dion. That's his 26th disposal. He's kicked a goal after very little football.
Kieran here. Back, guys.
Briggs. Call straight lines it. Stops Ash on the way through. Hopper. Back to Ash. From 48. This is the response the Giants are after. It's McMullen who nails it. Good finish. Tigers miss. Giants don't.
Who can use the ball better? That's what it's going to come down to. The opportunities are starting to present themselves. Great tap back into the corridor. Wasn't initially a clearance for the Giants, but then they were able to just work it forward. Some slick hands inside the contest. And then McMullen off a couple of steps. As you said, Howie, a miss at one end, a goal at the other. It's a 2-goal turnaround. Here come the Giants.
And he's had one of his best games, Toby McMullen. 19 disposals, 3 clearances. That goal there, he's been getting a bit more midfield minutes than Darcy Jones. But some really teammates haven't quite been at their best.
2 in a row for the Giants. And the Tigers hold them. Another centre clearance. They've been brilliant in the middle. And another one to Hopper. Deep ball forward to Buckley.
Maybe just a bit of fatigue from the forwards, Jace. They were having those contests
earlier in the game that had come to ground, Joey.
14-4 the centre clearances the way of Richmond. Fonte doing an up and under job. Boston leadership his teammate Broad. They communicated well. Stack of premierships between them. Sends it out wide. Himmelberg uses his body on Ross. Looping hand pass. Here they come again, the Giants. Into the hands of Jones for 3 in a row.
Be careful with their turnovers, the Tigers. Every possession has to be treated like goal, and they will continue to work their way forward, play the game at the other end. We have the ability to lock it in, repeat stoppages, great pressure, great tackling. But the Giants are surging, and if they win enough ball, I just feel like they're opening the game up when they attack now.
28 uncontested possessions to 6. So that's how this last quarter is going to be played. Richmond are going to try and keep it in a contest like they've done so well.
Starting to squirm on the couch, the Tiger fans. That's another good effort.
And we saw Lockie Ash start it just moments ago down half-back. He just played on and he'll make it up as he goes because he can evade 1 or 2 tacklers and then link up with hands.
Some nice marks today as Sims. Unfortunate bounce for Himmelberg, not so for Nankervis. Ross screws a check side down towards the attacking 50. Green, Lear, Ash, being fantastic as Lockie. Coming up to possession 33.
This is the man they have to stop, Lockie Ash. He's the one springboarding.
Riccardi, they've got a bit of energy about them, the Giants. Unusual kick to space, if anything. Off the ground, though, to work out. Miller's tracking it back. Ralph Smith gets front position, will get the free. And disposals, athletic customer. He kicks 13-4. And Caleb Smith.
Not a lot of movement now. They're just preparing for this kick to go long down the line.
28 minutes since the Tigers last kicked the goal.
Trouble is, if you just continue to give them what they want now, slow ball movement long down the line, they'll set up for it. You'll see intercept marks starting to be taken, and then they go when they win the ball, the Giants.
Momentum swinging the way of the Giants. They've kicked the last 2, the only 2 of the turn. Fonte. March in front of Sims.
Just keep going quickly.
Big contest to be won. Cadman comes out of hard. Ralph Smith, Alir grabs it, streaks away with a forward hand pass. Here come the Giants again. Thomas into the pocket. The afternoon so far for Jay Hogan.
Oh, they're starting to get nervous, Joey.
Yeah, they're pressing
They've got to kick at least another goal to win this.
Yep.
They're folding back now, Chief. Instead
Yeah.
of coming at the ball carrier, they're all folding back, which is allowing Giants so much space through the middle of the ground.
Oh, boy. A lot of nervous Tiger supporters now. We're right back and
Working on the couch, a lot of 12-20 coming their way. The team has been outstanding all afternoon. McIntosh through the hands of Brown, goes at ground level, punches it away from himself by a foot. He's laid some ferocious tackles, big Toby Nankirty.
This is where they're just going to have to rely on their leaders. Floston and Broad behind the footy. The mids that have been excellent. Tom Lynch is going to be pivotal.
See, look where midfield Kelly are at the back here on their own.
Then Curtis straight to Hogan. Dangerous areas. Tigers spun in a tackle. Umpire says play on. Snap down the pack. The Giants love it. They've got 3 in a row. Here come the GWS. Brown, big finish.
Well, it should have been holding the ball,
Yeah.
Jason, here.
Yeah.
But it didn't go through. I mean, we're in a 7:20 here. Now, Caleb Gray. I didn't blow the whistle, but Brown was, good enough just to get enough on it.
So they're surging. The Giants are surging at them. What can the Tigers do?
Well, I have to start by just continuing to win clearance. I think that's going to be so important for field position because they don't want to be playing this game out of their back half. So they're going to have to continue to rely on their leaders to win clearance, played in their forward half, and really get back to that pressure. I know they're fatiguing. I know it's harder to do in late in the fourth quarter than it is in the first half, but that's going to be their best chance because they can't just sit back and expect to hold on to this lead.
Quality tackle from Cadman that set up the Brown goal.
This has been their strength, centre clearance. Tigers have dominated throughout the day. Can they rip one out and send it to Lynch and Co? Taranto and Hopper have been the men in there. Jones sprints after it. Rare clearance for the Giants. Right at the right time for them. Slick hand pass. Tom Green into the pocket. Cadman!
Well, G. Toby won the little handball then.
It's amazing what happens when you win clearances. All of a sudden you get the opportunity to go into a forward line that's not stacked with defenders pushing back or midfielders filling up holes. You pick and choose your targets, and Cadman would work deep. And when he gets a run and jump, can't be stopped.
The second for Cadman from the angle. Drills it home. The Giants 4 in a row, and they are coming. It was 28 points at three-quarter time. In a short period of time, it's down to 4.
4 goals to nothing, and it's happened in the blink of an eye. But they've started to win some clearances, which makes such a difference. Great inside 50 kick, just to the advantage. Give him a run and jump at the footy, and then a good finish.
Just joining us, Cal Ward injured his knee. Looks to be seriously, could be career-ending, hopefully not. But he went out on crutches at three-quarter time and implored his team, who were at that point trailing by 28 points, to get going. It's a game of emotion football.
Absolutely it is. He's got their arousal levels up and they've come to play. Darcy Jones has been sensational.
Taranto drives it forward off the ground. Mark not paid. Here come the Tigers. Can they answer? Again, the Giants, they stream forward. Bedford McIntosh provides the pressure. Everything going the way of the charcoal and orange at the moment. And some brief respite for the Tigers, who still lead the game.
They do, but the momentum is with the Giants. It's their speed now, I think, that looks the threat.
As soon as they win the ball, bang, go the other way. Numbers running, blinking with hands.
Mentioned Darcy Jones, only had 14 disposals, 4 clearances, a career high for him. A couple of centre bounce clearances have been crucial. McMullen we've mentioned.
11 goals, 7 to 10 goals, 17. Talked all afternoon about Richmond's inaccuracy in front of goal. They come again, looking for 5 in a row for the term. The Giants, the big flies there. Miller stays down. Important exit ball. Ralph Smith has to wait. Does well. Does really well. Nervous times.
Who's got the courage to run for Richmond?
Yep.
You have to dig in.
It's very easy when you get nervous just to look at the easy option, the little chip kick that doesn't actually help you. And in the end, someone gets forced into kicking long up the line, which is where the Giants are set.
Mansell wanted the corridor, no one presented to him, so it is the down the line ball. Buckley with a couple of fists on it. Fonte paddled around in the air. Slick hands, here they come again. Bedford onto Ango, sprints forward to a one-on-one, wobbles it. Miller does brilliantly to keep it in front of himself. If he'd missed it, it was a certain goal. Sonti goes off the ground, unusual decision. They come back through Jones to Thomas. Evades one tackle, back to Jones, little spin. Here's the wobbler inside 50. But having the answer is Campbell Gray.
He got away with one, Sonsi, picked the ball up, don't kick it off the ground. That's not getting the job done. You've got to keep your composure. When the ball's there to win, you win it.
They've dominated this game for 3 quarters, the Tigers. Missed plenty of opportunities, and the Giants are now pressing with the only 4 on the term.
They're no one forward. Giants have to spare down the line, so they can't kick them down the line at the moment. They might just try and milk a minute or so off the clock, but they're going to have to kick a goal, Jason, at least one.
And this is okay. This is okay, taking the uncontested marks when you can. But all the while you're doing it, you're looking at where the attacking option's going to come. When can you penetrate the defensive zone and go and take it deep forward and give yourself a chance to kick that goal?
Boston can take some grass if he wants.
So they've taken a bit of ground and then you start again, and if you get to chip it around, that's okay.
And Jesse Hogan is screaming at his midfielders to push up into the middle of the ground to take this space away.
There's a standoff in the middle of the ground. Off the chest of Broad. Sweeping in is Smith. Big moments in the game. This Prestia have been fantastic. Smith again rides the tackle, needs to get rid of it.
How much juice has Dion Presti got left in the tank? I mean, first game for the year, hardly played any VFL footy. Taranto's going to have to keep working. Hopper's come for a spell.
Nankervis out to space. Fonte overruns it. Out to O'Halloran. Here they come again. They are full of run, the Giants. Riccardi too much on it. Lord will do everything he can to keep it in. In the rough part of the ground. Back to Prestia. They need to score, the Tigers.
Jeez, they're sucking it in too. They're feeling the pinch.
Now, 37 minutes since their last goal, Richmond, but still they lead.
I just wonder whether Adam Uzo and the coach think that can they inject someone else into the midfield, someone with a little bit of leg speed, maybe a Seth Campbell or a Steely Green, or either of them. Does a Sam Banks come from defence and maybe try and get a bit of leg speed to try and match the Giants around the footy?
They've just lost a little bit of bite at ground level, haven't they?
If you told them at the start of the day, with 7.5 to go, you'll lead by 4 points, I reckon they take it.
It's been good, Ralph Smith. It's worked hard.
Still nothing presents in the middle.
It's a good kick.
Here's an opportunity. Lynch is 1-on-1 deep with Taylor.
They want it deep.
They go towards Lynch. He's going to have 2 to beat at least. Does well to bring it to ground. Aaliyah steps. O'Halloran. The runners will come again. Broad from behind with the fist. Gets past Gray. Ralph Smith with the body.
They just can't lock it in their forward half like they could early in the game.
That was a wrong kick in the inside 50 from Nankervis. He's kicked the Lynch, but it's a 1-on-3. Or sorry, kicked deep to a 1-on-3 when he should have gone to Lynch in a 1-on-1 in the pocket.
Starting to rely on their defenders now, Richmond. The experience of Broad and Vlosten to get the job done. They can feel the Giants absolutely have got one in them here late.
Nankervis, Briggs. 2 big boys go at it. Green. Ash drives it forward. Cadman, he's claimed it. That is a very good contested 1-on-1 mark by Cadman.
Jeez, Joey, you said he hasn't quite had that game yet. This might be it.
A couple of big moments in this fourth quarter when they've needed someone to stand up. Jesse Hogan hardly sighted to kick 3 and a couple in the last quarter. Strong contested mark.
They're in front after the opening goal. Have not been in front since. Nearly 40 minutes since the Tigers have kicked a major. They led by 28 points at three-quarter time. Booming drop punt. Made the distance with ease. 3-point game, 5:50 on the clock.
This feels like a matter of when, not if. What can they conjure?
Just someone has to win a critical contest. And just a big contested mark or one of the smalls to hit a front and square.
Lost into a contest. Nearly reeling it in was 4.
They just can't find a ground ball now, though, in this fourth quarter. The Tigers, when it was the Tigers first two it all the time in the first 2.5 to 3 quarters.
Fist forward from Tom Green to Toby Green. Whitfield falls at the wrong moment. The big frame of Green sends it forward to Toby. He's been quiet, only needs a slide opening. Smith needs to get rid of the footy. Alton gets away.
Some context, the Giants in close games, single-digit games. They've won 7 of their last 10. They've played in a couple this year and won them both. So they are very good in close finishes, GWS.
Not helping Richmond fans on their couches around the country. High ball from Smith. Whitfield. Oh, gee, wasn't sure whether to claim the mark or let it go out the full. In the end, he didn't either.
It's a big win for Richmond. Jacob Hopper had a good spell on the bench. He's now back on, so he's the man around the clearance. He's got 11 for the night. He'll need to get some ball going Tigers way late.
And Curvis continues to battle for his team. Prestia sends a rare ball out to the wing for the Tigers. Taranto didn't have the football. Umpire said play on. Buckley might have been a touch fortunate. Bedford sends it out to the flank. Brown, Gloston, Green. Somehow keeps the ball in play. Here comes Himmelberg. Too fast for his own legs. Brown comes back the other way. Prestia tries to corral him and does.
Oh, some critical moments. Chases and tackles.
The umpires too.
Oh, I thought Prestia was stiff not to get a free kick, but they're just surging. And they're running on top of the ground, the Giants.
Toby Green, you feel he's still got a part to play in this, Howie. It's Broad, it's on him.
He's been huge, Nankervis. Fonte, dangerous ball forward. And here is the moment. Brown marks on his chest to give the Giants the lead for the first time since they kicked the opening goal.
Harvey, ready out of the defensive area. Harvey, go 5 metres.
It's kick 2. Points down they were at three-quarter time, the Giants. Brown for a third. Pokes it through. 5 in a row for the Giants. And they are now in front.
Five goals two from 13 inside 50s in the fourth quarter. The Tigers have had 10 inside 50s for 1 behind. It's just dried up. The supply's dried up. And you've got a team now that is sniffing the kill. They're surging forward, they're getting numbers, they've got more run in the legs, and all the momentum is with it. It's going to take something special, and although at least now it might change the mindset of the Tigers.
I was just about to say that, Jason. Not all hope is lost now because it changes the dynamic now, the mindset. So it's now the Giants that maybe go into survival mode. Richmond now have got nothing to lose. It's 6-6-6. It's back to an even situation. So they do still get a good look here, the Tigers, if they can win a clearance.
43 minutes since the Tigers have kicked a major. They've dominated out the middle. They've done it again through Hopper. Wobbles it forward to a dangerous area. Good contest. Fall. Green battles away, gets the hand pass back towards Fall. They've got to keep it in there, the Tigers. Sonzi goes off the ground for the second time in the term. Iden, calm. Presence of mind to send it to the wing. Gray comes from behind. Opportunity now for Gloston, in good hands. Wants to go through the middle, gets one high. Cadman needs to let him go. who can stand up, potentially be a hero for the Tigers. Ralph Smith had a really good afternoon, 22 disposals.
Great kick from Flopstone too.
Got to get their numbers in at the feet of the tools here.
Lynch will come from behind. They elected to fist when the mark could have been taken by Fonte. Mansell keeps it in. Iden, brilliant hand pass out to Kelly. Really under pressure, but kicks in a hurry. Cadman. Jones. Cadman. The Giants looking to finish. What a contest this is. Prestia again. McIntosh in the hands of Loston.
Would like them to go forward from that handball.
It's a gutsy kick in the middle. It's a good gather. Hopper breaks the tackle eventually. Screws it back to Miller. Still time for the Tigers. 2 minutes on the clock. Here they go again. Brown's not going to have any room. Does well. Nearly lost his strides in the process. Then Curvis, big fist forward. Buckley hurries it out of defence to space. The Tigers through Gray. Caught in the tackle. Cadman gets him. Clock stops 1:58.
So some good tackles there on Cadman.
Jesse Hogan now going behind the ball. You can see it top of screen.
Getting close to next goal wins material.
So Ben Miller is going to go with Jesse Hogan. So the Giants send the next one down, which is Callum Brown. So they want to make sure that they have an extra behind the ball here, GWS. Boston will stay behind the ball for Richmond.
And Curtis and Green, two big bodies. Green wins out in the end. Whitfield.
Needs to keep this in, the big fella.
Show some urgency.
Gray, they have the extra number. Someone with a bit more experience would have known that and made more of an attempt to keep that ball in and flick it back to Boston. That makes it more difficult for the Tigers.
Yeah, there's been a few things where they've lacked a bit of composure. Sonsi a couple of times tried to kick it off the ground instead of picking the ball up. Cut one there, they had a 2-on-1, needed to keep it in.
Tigers led by 28 at three-quarter time. Giants have kicked the only 5 goals of the term. Still the game is on the line. Hopper desperate. Riccardi. Boston needs to get it and go. Picks it up cleanly. Does well. Here's a ball to be won straight to Toby Green. He calms things down.
And they'll just chip the ball around here.
Yeah,
Try to take 30 seconds off the clock.
Get a man up.
He can go backwards if he wants to Hogan.
See something he likes. Ralph Smith gets an important hand in.
That's interesting from Toby. We had Jesse Hogan behind him. He could have just kicked it backwards. He had a player lateral. They'll still take the stoppage inside 50.
Look at that time in front. 90% of the game they've led for the Tigers. This could be heartbreaking.
Cal Ward out with what looks to be a serious knee issue. Gave the team the three-quarter time address on the back of his coach. Ralph Smith, the Tigers, an opportunity. Hacked forward again. Pressed into a dangerous area. Massive contest in the middle of ENGIE Stadium. They bang it forward. The Giants have got the numbers. And Taylor could almost ice the game if he can hit a target.
Every Richmond player has to find an orange jumper, hold them up. They're just a bit disorganised at the moment.
Hogan will hold it for as long as he can and head to the line.
He can go back and across.
They need an intercept here, the Tigers, or they're headed for heartbreak. Ball stays in.
Here we go. This is the last play.
Needs to go. He's got a quick man on his hammer. To Broad, 14 seconds. He's got to go, takes a bounce, nothing presents. The Giants are set up well behind the ball. Down the line, that should do it for the Giants. Minutes since they've scored a goal, the Tigers. Spins back into play. Heartbreak for the Tigers. The Giants come from the clouds with the last 5. On the back of a three-quarter time speech by their injured champion, Cal Ward. Somehow, the Giants snatch it at the death. 77. The Giants 12-8-80. 3-point winners.
Yeah, the Giants, they dodged the biggest of bullets. They were outplayed for 3 quarters, completely outplayed really. But you just sense the Tigers have put so much effort into those first 3 quarters. A young side, their pressure, their ground ball and attack, they just couldn't sustain it. And once the Giants sensed it, they just went after them. The story will be that man though, Howie Calward.
Cameron Mooney is down on the ground, and I'm sure we'll hear from some of these players what Calward said at 3/4 time. Moons, over to you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Harry. Well, Greeny, you just said then that was way too close for comfort.
Yeah, we were horrific, honestly, in the first quarter, and we got a good bait from Kingers, which we deserved. Then we just managed to claw it back a little bit and had a good last quarter. So, yeah, it wasn't the prettiest, but it's nice to come over.
Just felt like the momentum, particularly in that last quarter, was just on your side. You just went quick. I don't think you went quick all day. Then all of a sudden, boom, you just turned it on.
Yeah, exactly. We need to get a little bit better at playing our way, I think, for the whole 4 quarters. And yeah, thank goodness we didn't last, but yeah, we need a 4-quarter effort.
I was standing about 25 metres away from the quarter-time huddle, and I could hear him scream. He tore a few blokes in half, and I reckon you were one of them.
Yeah, I was, and I deserved it. Yeah, no, it was a good old-fashioned one, but again, I think you need that sometimes, and we certainly did. After that, we're a whole lot better.
And let's talk about the 3/4 time speech with Callum Ward. We know that he's gone down with a serious knee injury, and you know who knows what's going to happen there. But talk about his speech at 3/4 time.
Yeah, he just talked about being reliable, and we're at our best. We're reliable with our roles and the way that we want to move the ball. And as we sort of said, we didn't really do that for 3 quarters, but in the last, I think we did. And yeah, it's hard not to, when Wardy, someone who lives and breathes our club, it's hard not to get up from the last when things look like they're not going to be great. So yeah, it was good to hear from him, and we'll wait and see. Hopefully, best.
All right, mate, go and enjoy, brother.
Thanks, mate.
The ultimate team man delivering the ultimate address. It's fantastic vision.
Might be a coach in waiting, might be a coach in the future. Howie, if he was able to inspire a 28-point comeback at 3/4 time, and really, I've got no doubt they lifted for him. And they needed to, Jason. They were poor for 3 quarters. Richmond, full credit to them. They gave their absolute all. They squandered chances, but the Giants get away with one.
Well, they look disappointed. They should be, because that's one that's slipped through their fingers. Just lacked composure the last quarter and a bit. When they had some opportunities, they didn't take them. We spoke about all the misses and wouldn't come back to haunt them. Bad kicking for goals, bad football. But they gave themselves a lot of really good looks and created a lot of great opportunities. There is something to work with there. There is promise. And the youngsters, the pressure that they brought for the first 3 quarters was intense. It was fantastic. But when you look at the shots that were missed, in particular the ones from the corridor, there's some unforgivable misses there.
Yeah, that sort of 30 to 50 range. 4 goals, 11 for the Tigers. The Giants in that same range, 8 goals, 1.
Yeah, that's the difference in the game.
He'll be proud, Adam Uze, I'm sure, but he'll be so disappointed for his group and for the club and fans that they don't walk off ENGIE Stadium for the 3rd consecutive time with 4 points.
Yeah, and look, he'll be disappointed, but at the end of the day, it's not just about how many wins you have for them. Are you seeing growth in the group? We are definitely seeing that. These players, if they want to fast-track their own development, they've got to find ways to work through these situations. When you do put yourself in a good position, how do we make sure we get the result that we deserve, that we've earned, that we've put in all the hard work for? Just be contemplating, what are you going to say to them after you cough up a 28-point 3/4 time margin and just couldn't do the things that they'd done so well for 3 quarters of the match. I love the respect that a lot of the Richmond players showed going up and checking with Cal Ward and having a good chat. And I mean, I think he's a universally admired player, very, very respected by his peers.
326 games, so 327 after today.
No shortage of love for his teammates, but we know that.
Yeah.
He's the heart and soul of the footy club, this man.
Captain for 157 games,
Yep.
First GWS player to 250 games, 262 today. It looks a forlorn hope that knee's okay, but let's hope he gets some positive news. Describing the action there in the tackle in the first turn. Reading his
Just said he
lips
heard
there,
the pop.
heard the pop.
Yeah.
Oh, they get the win without any real influence from Toby Green, just 12 disposals and 1 goal. Jesse Hogan hardly sided. I thought some of the kids really stepped up, Jason. I thought Darcy Jones and McMullen around the footy gave them a spark. Young Ango showed some nice signs.
Cadman continued his development.
And if you weren't with us in the first.
This is when he braced. When he braced to change direction, the right knee gave way and the emotion spilled out. His teammates, and you can see the tears from Cal, and that wouldn't be happening unless it was a serious injury.
So the Giants get out of jail in many ways. The 7th win of the season. Put them inside the 8. Well done to Miller as well. He came in today thinking, what could Jesse Hogan do? 8 disposals, didn't register a score. Brown with 3 during the last term. Cadman picked a couple as well. Ash 35 disposals. Tom Green 30. Whitfield 28. Presty with 31. A fine return to senior football alongside Hopper. Banks and Ralph Smith had in the 20s for the Tigers. The Giants take on Port at home and Brisbane away and the Suns. Richmond have got Sydney at home, the Dogs then Adelaide. And it's the 7th win of the season. After being down by 28 at quarter time, 26 at half time, and kicking the last 5 goals, the Giants, after being 28 points down at 3/4 time. Here are the GWS Giants. The 7th win of the season, just waiting for the group to all be there. And it'd be great, hopefully, to see Cal Ward in there singing the song as well. That's it from ENGIE Stadium. Thanks to Jason, Cameron and Lee. The Giants, with the last 5 goals, win it by 3 points. And over to Kath Lawton with plenty of footy ahead for the rest of the evening, Kath.
All right, folks, there we go. Well, what a finish. Unfortunately, the Tigers, they just couldn't get the job done today. Look, I think the Tigers just went into their shell a little bit in that final term. Oh, my gosh, I tell you what, once the Giants did get the lead, the Tigers started to fight back and find that bit of intensity again, but I think they were going in a little bit of survival mode, especially when the Giants were coming. Instead of attacking what they'd been doing in the opening 3 quarters, tell you what, it was a fantastic effort there. I think they'll look back on some of those misses. 10 goals, 17, a 77. Giants 12, 8, 80, 20 scoring shots to 27. I think they'll definitely look back on that. Maybe have a little bit of kicking practice this week. This game could have been well and truly over had they have kicked straight. But when you leave the door open for the good sides, it gives them an opportunity, and that's exactly what. The Giants stuck their head through the door and said, peekaboo, we're here. And they stuck gradually opened the door wider and wider, and they got the job done. My gosh, Eddie G, hey, David, how you going? Eddie G's still alive and he's multi. The Tigers, though, after half-time could only manage 3 goals, 6. The Giants, 8 goals, 5. 5 goals, 2 in the final term to the Giants, 1 behind to the Tigers. The Tigers just needed to stick on 1 goal in that final term. That would have been enough. Unfortunately, they weren't able to do that. I tell you what, heartbreak for the Richmond supporters out there after a fantastic 3 quarters of football by them. Look, we all thought they just about had the job done, but there was still hope for the Giants, and unfortunately, hope goes a fair way in football. When you get that bit of a sniff and that, that first goal in the final quarter, it certainly does give you a bit of sniff exactly like that. So, well, it was the Giants today. Unfortunately, for the Tigers fans, so let's go down and have a listen to the Giants coach.
But we managed to turn that around at three-quarter time, get back to playing a little bit of our way and defend a little bit better.
Well done, Coach. How did it come about for Cal to get to the group at three-quarter time? I mean, obviously that your messages would be going, in terms of the tactical side of things, ringing through the ears of the group. There's no doubt with the game on the line. Step us through how it came about that Cal took that time at three-quarter time with the troops.
Are you asking about Cal Ward at three-quarter time? Yeah, okay. Well, I just thought, Wardy's the heart and soul of our footy club. We weren't playing like Wardy, quite plain and simple, and I wanted us to, and none better than to ask for it than Wardy. So he stepped in and spoke about what he wanted. I didn't listen to what he spoke about, but it worked. Coach Ward.
Kingers, what are you most proud of today from your group? You're down 35 points at one stage and you come back and win. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, you're certainly thrilled. I mean, the fact that we were able to respond, you've got to be able to win the games you don't deserve to win. And that's certainly the case today. We didn't deserve to win that game. We're fully aware of that. But we did enough in the end to be able to win the game, get the 4 points. And, we'll learn our lessons, move on. Big game next week against Port Adelaide down in Canberra.
So who was it on the field in that fourth quarter for you, Kingers, who ignited the side?
I thought Tom Green was really special around stoppage. Briggsy got involved early, and then Riccardi as our ruck certainly got involved. I thought Darcy Jones was electric. Cadman certainly launching it at balls and bringing it to the ground if he wasn't marking it. Kellen Brown bobbed up. I think we had a lot of contributors out of the back half. We played a style that looked more like our way, and I thought it was a group effort, obviously, but there was a few that stood up. Our stoppage work in the last quarter was really strong, so that was quite pleasant.
An emotional but brilliant win. Congratulations, Adam. Go and enjoy this one. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Kingers.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
All right, Adam Kingsley, the coach of the Giants. As he was saying, he said they don't deserve to win that game, but it's games like that that are good to win, and you can find a way to get over it. All right, before we wrap this one up, let's just go through the goal scorer stats. Before we do that, just in case anyone's interested in the stats like we all are, Callum Brown ended up topping the table with 3 goals out on the field for the Giants. Jake Riccardi with 2, Aaron Cadman with 2, McMullen, Toby Green, Tom Green, Karen Briggs, Cody Angrove, all singles there for the Giants. For the Tigers, Tim Taranto with 2 with Tom Lynch and Stilly Green. Singles to Sonosi, Prestia, McMullen, Hopper, no McMullens for the Giants, Hopper I should say, and Fowl. There we go, singles for them. Let's have a look at the disposals. Lockie Ash ended up on 35 there for the Giants, and very nice, 24 kicks, 11 handballs. Dion Prestia for the Tigers, 31, next best, 15 and 6, 7 clearances, 1 goal, 1. Tom Green come alive in that final quarter. 30 touches, though the only 3 in the 30. As we just quickly roll down the board, we'll see who else got what. Harry Himmelberg, 21 there for the Giants. Who else have we got there? Nathan Broad for the Tigers, 17. Nankervis, 15 touches, 36 hit-outs. 2 clearances for him, the big man for Richmond. Toby Green, just the 12 touches today, 7 kicks, 5 handballs, just a single goal for him. So very quiet for him today. Tom Lynch, well, he tried, but he was just too quiet, wasn't he? 10 kicks, 8 kicks, 10 disposals, 2 goals, 1. And of course, that being said, Jesse Hogan, the big gun down there for the Giants, just the 8 disposals, 5 kicks, 3 handballs, no scores. Team stats, pretty even there, just plus 14 to the Giants in disposal count. Inside 50s, 50 to 61. Let's go back and have a look at the scoring shots. 50 inside 50s for the Giants, 20 scoring shots. And of course, 61 inside 50s for the Tigers for their 27 scoring shots. Free kicks. Let me know in the comments or any time, have you ever seen a team with only 4 free kicks after the full-time siren? 4 free kicks, that's all the Giants got today. I'm sure that's got to be a record somehow. and 15 to the Tigers. You know, folks, in the third quarter, there were no free kicks given to either side. There we go. Hit outs, Tigers by 2. Clearances, Tigers did well in all clearance sections, plus 13 clearances, plus 11 centre clearances. Well, they got the mitts on the ball enough out of the centre clearances, and plus 2 in stoppages. Contested possessions, Tigers a little bit better, plus 28. Uncontested, Giants controlled it a bit in that final term, plus 43. Turnovers, both reasonably high from both sides. Plus 21 marks to the Giants, marks inside 50. Both teams got a fair bit of it, gave them opportunity. Giants kicked straight, made the most of their opportunities when they took the mark inside 50, whereas Richmond, they were just too skewy off the boot today. And of course, tackles, Giants a little bit harder in the tackle, 62-43. Inside 50 tackles, they certainly lifted in that final term. 16-9 were the Giants. Let's see if I can reload this live ladder up, see if it's adjusted itself now, and there we go. It's the live ladder. The Giants, after winning today, after playing 12 games, 7 wins, 5 losses, 109.4 is their percentage, 28 points. So they go to equal fourth with Adelaide, Geelong, Hawthorn, Giants and Fremantle, all sitting on 28 points. Of course, Gold Coast Suns, who lost today, to the delight of all those teams, sitting on 32 points, 1 game clear. Brisbane 38, Collingwood 40. There we go. And of course, Richmond still down there in 16th spot after playing 12 games, 3 wins, 9 losses. That is how the ladder sits at the moment, folks. This is how this team ladder sits at the moment. Of course, the next game coming up, we've got for you in about 20 minutes' time is the Sydney Swans. They'll be taking on Adelaide Crows over there at Sydney SCG. That should be a fantastic game. So if you want to listen in on that, folks, join me in about 20 minutes' time. It should be a ring-a-ding-ding game. That's going to be a game up for grabs. I tell you what, over in that game, Sydney want to lift their form. They've been in poor form. Adelaide, reasonably good form, so Sydney's got the home ground advantage. So it's going to be a bit of a toss-up, flip of the coin, who's going to win that game. But a fantastic game here today at ENGIE Stadium. Of course, Richmond led for 3 quarters. It was only, and as I say, it was only at the 25-minute mark of the final quarter, the Giants got back in front and were able to hang on by 3 points today. What a fantastic game! I tell you what, there was some happy Richmond supporters, but unfortunately now they'll be a little bit sad. But hey, take nothing away from your Tiger team; they were fantastic today. All right, folks, let me just have a little bit of a look, if I can have a quick look and see who these teams have got playing next week. So we've got the Giants. The Giants next week, actually, this is going to be a interesting game. The Giants have got a home game at Manuka Oval. They play Port Adelaide next Saturday evening, so that should be a fascinating game. Giants and Port Adelaide. And, of course, Richmond have a home game next week at the MCG next Saturday, 1:20 p.m. They take on the Sydney Swans. So that's going to be another interesting game there. Of course, Sydney out of form. Of course, Port Adelaide out of form. So could the Tigers and the Giants actually come away with wins next week? If that's the case, that could cement the Giants in the top 8, which would be good news for them. And, of course, the Tigers will be happy to get back on their home turf of the MCG. We did have the poll in here today. We didn't get the poll right today. I think 64% said Richmond. Tell you what, you nearly got it right, folks. You nearly got it right. All right, folks, that's about it. I just want to thank everyone for coming in. Thanks, Ryan, Avery Road 1. Thanks, Ryan, for the super chat. Appreciate that, young man. Appreciate the super chat. Always very supportive there. And thanks, everyone else who came in and listened in on the coverage with us. Another fantastic, close game of football. Tell you what, it was exciting again in that final quarter. Still coming down to the wire. Who was going to win? The Giants, well, they did it. They got up. Somehow a miracle came and the Giants got up, unfortunately, for the Tigers. All right, folks, that's all I got for this one. Hey, we'll see you in about 20 minutes' time over at the Sydney Adelaide game. That should be a cracker. So until that game, ciao for now, and we'll see you the next game.